could be with anyone, you're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around me. You could be with anyone, and I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome to the show. I'm so happy to see you guys. Hopefully you can see and hear me this time. I was having a little trouble. Uh-oh. Oh, we're good. We're good with the ones. If we're good, we're all good. I see some ones popping up. Thank you guys so much. Jot up, I'll be jamming too, yo. I'll be jamming too, having a good time, doing my thing. Hopefully, everybody's having an awesome night. If you haven't seen it, I posted a poll because as we had talked about on Sunday, I don't know if you guys were here, but last Sunday, yo, somebody dropped a bomb on my ass because we had the whole conversation about the trailer. We've been talking about the trailer, much like everybody has been talking about the trailer. And one of the things that came up during the course of the trailer, of course, was Cody's proclamation that if it wasn't for my wife, I would do the evil thing. And he did the whole Dr. Mephisto thing. And I thought, in fairness, I heard people compare it like to Jack Nicholson and The Shining, and people, oh, that's like Jack Nicholson and The Shining. I was like, yeah, but Cody's not deep enough for Jack Nicholson and The Shining. I think because he mentioned Dark Knight, that he was actually talking about the Joker, right? And that was his Joker impression. But along comes one of the viewers, yo, and that's why we got the best viewers on the web. Along comes one of the viewers, and they dropped this little nugget. They said that Kody Brown, when he did this, and he had that whole little face thing going, looking up in the sky, making the ugly faces, that he actually looked more like this guy, Fire Marshal Bob. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They said he looked like Fire Marshal Bob. And I said, ding, ding, ding. That's 100% correct. In fact, in commemoration of Cody being Fire Marshal Bob, I made a little something for you, Cody. This is just for you because I know that you and your people be watching and y'all be lurking in the background. I just want to say hello and this. There you go, Cody. Gave you a little Pixar-like creature to represent your new, your new potential. This is maybe we're looking at it the wrong way. See, we were thinking that Cody's trying to impress us with his acting skills, that he's trying to be clever, right? That he's trying to be funny. He's like, I'm not going to do this evil stuff because I'm accepting my evil characteristics and personalities and what the viewership has dawned upon me as being the villain of this reality show. Maybe we got it wrong, y'all. Maybe what Cody's actually trying to tell us is that he's found, and maybe this came from like his whole little participation on Special Forces, which I have some stuff to talk. We're going to talk a little bit about Special Forces before we get into these messages, y'all, because old James used the old bean counter. And I'm telling you right now, there's some things that you guys have to know about this before we get into it. But while, he's doing Special Forces out there, risking his life, kind of, with the tap out. You get the tap out. I'm done, yo. I'm done. I got beans. My corns hurt. My legs is hurting me. I don't know. My whole left side. I done fell down that mountain. Everything jacked up, man. I can't feel my ears. I'm out of here. Right. So, in light of his new adventuresome side, maybe he's thinking like Sister Wives is coming to a close. So I need to get ready for my next chapter. And that next chapter, ladies and gentlemen, very well may be Cody's going to be a fireman. That's right. Cody going to be a fireman. Cody wants to be Fire Marshal Bill, yo. And that's what he's doing. Like, we've been sitting there. He going to be a hero. He going to be a first responder. Only problem is, could you imagine your house on fire? He busted there. Everybody jump back, be like, "Did you set this fire, sucker? Is this you? You some of my bitch, you know." Cody can't catch a break, Jack. I saw you burned up your family. I mean, there's no telling what you willing to do. You burnt down the whole family. There ain't no reason in the world to think that you wouldn't come in and put a torch to my place, Mr. Fire Marshal Bill. Let me show you something. Say you're walking down the street and you're carrying a gallon of gas and you see James's house and you sprinkle it all over his house. And then, you throw a match. Let me show you something. So, yeah, from this day forth, you know what's jacked up? And somebody called. I think it was like maybe Caramel Cuties and Egla. Somebody on Sunday called it. Like, I don't think, and thank you, Vio, for saying that he looked like Fire Marshal Bill. But I don't think I'm ever going to be able to not see Fire Marshal Bill when I look at him moving forward. So I want to thank you for that. You know what? And I'm especially appreciative because the last terrible memory I had of Cody was when he was out there swimming in damn Coyote Piss Pond and he took his clothes off and he out there in his drawers and he come up out the water with his skivvies and start trying to do the Incredible Hulk. That shit was I was like, what are you doing, brother? This is not the move. Like, you're a little too old to be out there with your tighty whities doing Hercules hero poses. Yeah. I mean, he's a little too old for that, bro, man. Like, you can't be middle-aged. That's something you would expect out of maybe like a Tyler. Like, if Solomon did it, be like, oh, that's cute. You know, but Cody doing it, like, bro. There's some things, like, and that's just, like, we kind of talked about it last week. There's some things you just kind of outgrow. You know, like personal experience. I'm gonna, you know, I get on the mic and be talking too much. That's what my mama say. My mama. That's what my wife said. Talk too goddamn much. But gosh darn much. Pardon me, Lord. Please don't strike me. But the thing is that like the other day, I was putting on my clothes. I was rushing because I had to take my car to the mechanic, and I jump up, put my clothes on. And get to the mechanic. I'm thinking everything normal. And I didn't realize that I had my shirt on inside out. And I'm walking around. yeah, that strut like, yeah, you know, I'm doing it. Okay, everybody looking at me. Got my shirt on inside out. You know, right before the show, put my shirt on. You know, did a little stuff. Put my shirt on. Shit was on backwards. Like, you know what I mean? That's stuff that when you young and you do stuff like that, like you a little kid, you do that kind of stuff, nobody think twice about it. It ain't a big deal. You start to get a little older, like you're around me and Cody's age, you start doing that kind of shit. You're a little nervous that your kids might put your ass in a home, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta stay on your P's and Q's because they looking for you. They looking for you to start slipping. They coming for your house. You know what I mean? Oh, look, Dad ain't doing too well. Guess we're gonna have to take over the house. Not today, sucker. So yeah, it's just, you know, kind of like diapers. Like when you're a baby, you can pull it off. When you're grown ass man, not so much. So I mean, there's that. To you guys are raunchy in the chat. You guys are raunchy. Okay. Yeah. So I appreciate everybody coming in. We have some things to talk about before we get into the phone calls. Yeah, actually, I see Brittany. Not Brittany in here. Is she up in chat? Yeah, she is. Yeah, I got your message. Megatron, I got yours too. So we'll be hearing those in a little bit. But so far, where we are is the poll question is if Cody really were Fire Marshal Bill, what would be the first fire hazard he'd warn us about? Going, I guess, in reverse order. Holiday scheduling goes boom. Polygamy, a 5-alarm blaze. Family finances, the debt inferno. And of course, the number one answer at 48% so far is favoritism for Robin. Gaslighting by via gasoline. Gasolina. You know, it's crazy time. But Power Ranger tea time. Oh man. Where's my thing at? Oh, okay. Power Ranger tea time. Got a new one. It's knocky. I like it. I like it. Where's it at? Oh, here we go. Yeah, it said Cody gonna be asking for a military discount for his services on special forces. Cause you imagine he gonna be out there. My man might get charged with stolen valor. You know that shit's actually a crime. For you to say that you're in the military, you never have been in the military, say you did something in the military, never have done it. That's a crime. It's called stolen valor. But I could totally see Cody getting in trouble. That'll be the next big thing. You know, like Housewives of New Jersey, Bravo, they have Teresa. She got locked up for stealing money, doing real estate deals. And you had another woman who was out of, I think, Salt Lake City or something. She got locked up because she was running a con job. Now Cody gonna get locked up. Not for all the money he stole, but because he was standing in the Walmart talking about, yeah, there was a time I was in the special forces. Which unit were you attached to? You know, just general special forces. You know, they don't have a general special forces in the military. Yeah, it was pretty grueling. It was just grueling training. That's what we did. It was just like being there and being in the service. Speaking of which, guys, we gotta talk. We all have to talk for a minute. And it's a weird thing. In this part of it, I don't really take any real well, I mean, some of it I do. I kind of got a giggle out of it. But some of this I'm not particularly happy about. All right, so you know, when we come in, first I want to make sure I say thank you to everybody who showed up uh and came in to join us for this evening. I don't even know what my numbers are. I just ask that you guys hit the like button. Let a player know that you like what I'm doing. Let me just transfer this over. So I'll make sure I get everything. Cause yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, I mean, because some of it, I know we're all kind of talking about the special forces stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I'm not, it is what it is because it's something that's happening that's going to be relevant to the show. And I'm going to tell you why. And this is something that I didn't really think about until earlier today when I started thinking about like what I was going to talk about this evening. So as I watched the season 20 trailer, there's a lot of stuff that we can unpack. And I said that I would go through and I would kind of pull it apart as I was going through it. But there's one thing, like when we talk about like his being on Special Forces, which is a Fox show, it's not NBC, ABC, or CBS, not one of the big boys, but Fox is bigger than TLC. Okay. Like tonight, I'm going to focus on a couple things about this trailer. First thing, we're going to talk about Cody's Special Forces appearance. Like rumors of new women wanting to join the family. Remember when Cody came out and said, yeah, I got an email from a honey dip trying to, get up on a player. I don't know. That's not what he said, but that's what I heard. The most idiotic, moronic thing you could say, the most immature thing you could say. Got me a honey dip. She trying to, pull up on a player trying to get scooped. Loser. And why that's relevant. Like, because I think that there's a reason, like everybody kind of just, I think that I won't even say everybody, because I did it too. I'll say for me. I did the, eye roll. So I rolled my eyes so hard, I thought my shit was going to hit the ground and roll across the ground like marbles. Like I thought my eyes was going, like, you know what I mean? Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. This dude talking about honey's trying to pull up on him. Come on now. But there's a reason why I think he did that. And I'm going to go into that in a little bit. There's also, how all this is kind of working into a long-term game plan. And I have substantive reason to think that my first analysis about the last few seasons of the show wasn't for us. And I'm doubling down on that. I'm going 10 toes down on that. This is my opinion, but I don't think that none of that was for us. Because we sit around and we watch this up with these shows, and we'll watch episode after episode. Him and Robin will come back and they'll redefine stuff that we've seen. They'll retell stories on full-blown episodes that we've all watched and talked about. Like, especially like between YouTubers, the folks in chat, fans of the show, they get together and they talk about certain episodes, certain things that Robin and Cody have done on the show. And it, you know, like the Isabel surgery thing, like that's something that pops up all the time, right? And he comes back, whether it's on the tell-all or whether it's during the course of the episode when he's doing a confessional, he'll come back and he'll basically rewrite history, right? He'll rewrite the whole thing. And it'll make it seem like either his involvement wasn't that severe, it wasn't that big a deal. If he did do it, he'll deny doing it. But if he did do it, it's not that big a deal. And maybe people are remembering it, and everybody's blowing it all out of proportion. But clearly, it's not his fault. And he's been doing that for so long that many of us, including me, we're looking at it like, this is ridiculous. I'm tired of this dude coming along, saying things that don't make sense, saying things which is counter to what we've seen on the show, or telling us that we don't know what we're talking about when we bring these things up. Like the look back when the one guy asked, why don't you just say that you love Robin? Look, you don't understand. You don't know nothing. You just see a little bit of our lives and you think you know everything, bro. You don't know anything, man. You don't know anything. You don't know jack shit, man. Like, that's what he did to the dude who called in. And Robin's trying to hush him. Shut up. You gonna shut up, you ass. And she get all mad. This is so ridiculous. You're making us look stupid. Right? And that was the whole thing. And the guy was just merely saying exactly, ironically enough, this was the close of season 18. By season 19, not only is Cody saying exactly what the guy he berated said, oh, I love Robin. I've always loved her. She was always special in my heart. When I saw her, she had the thunder cooch. And it was amazing. You know, here she come with the Thundercat, the thunderclapper. And then she done got me. I got struck by lightning. I'm like Benjamin Franklin out there flying a kite with a key on it. I couldn't resist. Right? And but you spent a good 5-10 minutes trying to make this guy feel bad, make him feel like an ass. And I still take offense to that, right? I'm personally offended because, one, the guy was right, and you acknowledge that he was right. Two, he's a fan of your show. He's the reason why you live in the house that you live in. You're paying the bills that you pay, that you're able to put the food in your mouth, and you're gonna come at him like that, like he's trash. That was garbage behavior to me. So you had that. Right. And I, like I said, I was getting up, this is ridiculous. This is, I don't know about Cody. This guy, I'm going to stay on his neck now. You done got it, bro. But it was all for a plan. Like, this was all planned out. This goes back. And I stand on the fact that this was something that they were doing, not for our benefit. This wasn't because he was trying to convince longtime fans, longtime watchers, people watch the show, somehow brainwash us into thinking that he's an all right guy. This was because that Special Forces show was already in the mix. Let me explain. Point one, my first point. The timeline for Special Forces matters. Let me say that one more again. The timeline for Special Forces matters. Why does it matter? Because by all accounts, the Special Forces didn't shoot last week. We just found out that he was on Special Forces back in, I think, August. we discovered it was released that he was going to be on season 4 of Special Forces. And everybody, there was a huge buzz. I talked about it. Everybody talked about it. You know, it was a big thing, you know, going around. We all talked about it. But here's the thing. They filmed Special Forces in April of 2024. Now, some of you may be saying, April of 2024, what sister wife fact happened around that time? It wasn't Christine's marriage, because she didn't get married till she got married the year before. Like, Christine's legitimately been married for 2 years now. So like the whole, oh, her and David are still newlyweds. They aren't even newlyweds anymore, right? Because they're so far behind. Like, this show is so far behind. But they began filming Special Forces in 2024. This is 1 month after Big G's passing, which occurred on March 5th, 2024. So just to put this into perspective, and this is the part that I'm not really a big fan of, and I'm not going to really belabor it too much because I don't like to invoke Big G's and a whole lot of stuff. But the subtle reality of it is that Cody went to and filmed Special Forces within a month of his son's passing. That's when they started shooting. Dude, you could call out. Like, look, man, death in the family, death of a child, bump that show. Forget that show. The thing that kind of strikes me, though, even with that sentiment, is that the reason why, there's a strong reason why I think he didn't call out, isn't because he was cold and callous and didn't care about Big G's. I mean, that might have been part of it. I don't know. I don't know the man's heart. He's not my friend. We don't talk. So I don't know how he felt about it, or, whatever. I would like to think that he was moved by Big G's passing, despite the fact he went to film this other show a month later, or less than a month later. But here's the thing. I think Cody needs the money. And more importantly than needing the money, he needs the opportunity. I was listening to IQ Live. IQ, if you out there, make sure you hit a brother up. I gave you the invite on the comment section. If you ever want to come on, we can get together and do some stuff, make some things happen. But I was listening to her thing, and she made a good point. She said basically what I've been saying this whole time. When push comes down to shove, as from a narcissist angle, like if we believe that Cody is a narcissist, or he exhibits narcissistic tendencies, or he exhibits narcissistic behavior, right? Not diagnosing you, not clinically diagnosing anything, just merely talking, in my opinion. One of the things that kind of sticks out as a narcissist is they fear, IQ said it perfectly today. Narcissists basically fear two things, and I'm going to put my little spin on it. It's not that, narcissists fear poverty. That's not one of the things that narcissists fear per se. What they fear is, irrelevance. Like, they're no longer able to command people's time. They no longer have that attention. They can't come in, sweep in and take over a situation or make the situation all about them. I only want to hear about things if it says my name 3 times. Like, that's that kind of attitude. And they don't want to have a point where they're irrelevant. So you don't want to have a situation where they're forgotten, and you don't want to have a situation where they're irrelevant. Right? So when rubber meets the road, Cody's looking at this whole thing, and he has to recognize, like many of them, that this show is kind of winding down. And a couple things have to happen along that way. One, he either A, has to find another outlet so that he can grow beyond the show, or 2, as a backup plan, he has to make sure that this show continues to go. So I think that plays into the whole notion of the apology tour. Like, I'm so sorry when I said these terrible things to your face, and said I would never say I'm sorry, because I ain't sorry. Sorry about nothing. I ain't sorry about nothing I said. Oh, except for when I said that I never loved you, because that would potentially get the show canceled. So I said some nasty things about you. And what I half-ass expect is that when he goes and does the apology tour, he's going to say, I'm sorry for saying this. And then he's going to do the truly narcissistic thing and say, okay, I'm sorry for maybe hurting your feelings. What do you have to apologize to me for? The things that you've definitely done. I might have hurt your feelings. Maybe I've hurt your feelings saying some things that might have made you a little cross. But what have you actually done to me? Because this is, at the end of the day, this is all your fault. Right? So that apology tour aside, like I think that everything has been laid for this to happen. Now, when we look at the going back, because the timeline does matter, and we talk about April 2024, right? There's some things that we have to just keep in mind with that date. April 24th, that's when they start shooting. They shoot this show for 2 weeks. This is a 2-week run on this show, right? And there's a couple things that I'm going to say about that, right? But when you sign up for this show, you just don't show up on the 24th. And this is something I kind of talked about before, which kind of got my wheels working in this vein. You have an opportunity for physical training and preparation. So you go out and you have to get yourself physically fit, because they don't want to, they, on this show, they have everybody running around, like nobody walks anywhere. So when they tell you to go over there and get something, you run over there to get it, you run back. When they tell you to get, we're going to go get something to eat, you run to the place you're going to go get something to eat, and then you run back when you finish. They say that we're going to the, we're going to bed, and you run to go to bed. Like, what the shit? Like, why I got to run to go to bed? I'm tired, It's ridiculous. What are we doing? So they have you running and doing all this stuff. So you have to be physically fit and physically prepared to be able to do these things. And aside from the physical things where they have you jumping out of planes, climbing up walls, climbing up this, doing obstacle courses, you have to physically be able to do it. Otherwise, this would be a terrible show. In addition to doing the physical stuff, you have to have mental prep where you have like psychologists and people come in and they talk to you, and you have psychological and mental evaluations to make sure that you aren't going to freeze up or panic while you're doing these exercises. Because the last thing they want to do is have somebody like out on a wire or doing something that's like highly dangerous. And then all of a sudden they just get so scared, they get paralyzed, they can't move, and they have to send somebody out to get them. That's actually way more dangerous than you doing whatever stunt you're doing. Like for them to try to send somebody out to bring you back, that's way more dangerous. It's crazy, way more dangerous. Like it's not even 2 times more dangerous because you got 2 times the people. No, it's like 100 times more dangerous, because they're not only trying to navigate for themselves, they're trying to navigate for you, and you're not necessarily cooperating. And if you're scared, you might do some things or make some mistakes that might cause both people or a team of people to get injured or unalived because you're scared. So that's part of the mental preparation. Now, keep in mind, I thought about this too. I'm sure they didn't do, is he a narcissist test? Like because they're doing reality stars. Everybody out there is a damn, if they're not a narcissist or borderline narcissist, there's borderline sociopath, psychopath, or they just an asshole. Like there's just, you know what I mean? I think those are the people who usually hit the highlight reels of most reality shows. These aren't normal folks. Okay. Then of course, you have the idea that this wasn't impulsive. This isn't just something you go out and do, because aside from the time that you would have to train, the time that they would have to set up to be able to come out and evaluate you, you would actually have to put in applications. They would have to review. They would have to make sure that there's enough room for cohesion with the not only with the cast members, like the other reality stars, athletes, so on and so forth, but you got to make sure that they're able to give a good show, because that's what this is. It's a show. So you want to make sure that you have people who will give you a good show, not necessarily get along and be friends, but you want to make sure that you have a right balance of people on the show to give you a good show, make it interesting. So that's a lot of time That's a lot of time. And that's why I think that when we look at this and we start going back season after season after season, this could have very well have been something that they had put in the works maybe a year, 2 years ago. And it started trying to apply and get Cody out there. And this is around the time that he started making these substantive changes with a lot of his attitudes and personalities and going back trying to retell stories. So it was never about our benefits, in my opinion. Now, with that stuff, I do want to give a little bit of a side note. Let me see, because I had some stuff that I had written down. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here's some things that might give Cody a little trouble. Okay. And these are just things that I've like between things that I've read as far as interviews from people who've already competed, stars, celebrities, and stuff who've already been on the show and went through the process from season 1 to season 3. Here's some things that I thought were noteworthy that Cody might have issues with. First thing, well, not necessarily, no specific order. This show is filmed 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 0 breaks, no breaks. So you don't have an opportunity to say, you know what, I'm getting a little heated. I'm going to go over here and stand here by myself. I'm not answering that question. Turn it off. I'm done. When you sign up for this show, they tell you off rip. They record everything. They record everything. You will always have a mic on that's live. So you have to be careful what you say, because you don't want to get up there and you get too loose. And I'm kind of curious whether this might be an issue with Cody. You get up there, you get too loose, and you see like they have some women on there who are attractive women, right? And then Cody get up there saying some more wild stuff. Look at that right there, son. Look at that. Look at here. And you know what I mean? It's going out on, they putting that on, they airing that, right? And you sit there trying to explain to Robin why you look at it, one of them women, belly crawl or, cross the battlefield or whatever. What was you thinking? It could be a hard night. So I'm looking forward to that. So they film 24/7, no breaks. The contestants don't get a say in how they're portrayed. Now, I kind of already knew this was going to be the case because you have too many personalities, too many divas. Like on this show, you have Eva from was it Real Housewives of Atlanta? She's a former model. She was on America's Top Model. And then she was on, she did a bunch of radio shows. She's done movies. She's done television. And I think she did a radio show. She did Real Housewives of Atlanta. So, diva. You have Teresa Giudice from Jersey Housewives. Super diva. Her daughter, baby diva. Right, and then Jesse Smollett, a Juicy Smoley, Jesse Smollett. You know what I mean? Was on Empire. Thought he deserved more, but deserved more money and more recognition. So he went out and committed a hate crime on himself. You have lunatics on this show. So there's no way in the world they're going to give any of them any type of real say when it comes to what is going to make it onto air. None of them are going to get a say. And so they don't have a say in how they're portrayed, right? I thought it was also interesting, and I want to jump down a little bit, because one of the things that they definitely mentioned, and this is something that Mel B brought up, actually. Mel B formerly from Spice Girls. She was the black lady from Spice Girls. But it was like, which one is that? Well, I don't want nobody burning up brain cells trying to figure out Spice Girls. She was Angry Spice. She said you can't talk to the producers. And I know this is something that Cody was used to doing on TLC. And I think that Teresa was pretty good about running back to Andy Cohen and talking to him about people that she didn't like and situations she didn't like and things that she didn't want to be put on the air. Because these guys are around and they have their phone numbers, so on and so forth. On the set of this show, not only can they not have their talk to a producer because the producers aren't around, she says she didn't see any of the producers. They aren't on set. The producers probably home sleeping, right? So you don't see any of the producers, and you can't call them because you don't have access to your phone. So you don't have access to nothing. Like there's no way you can reach out and talk to anybody about how you were feeling a little hungry yesterday and how you want to eat. One of the other things is that they said, as far as like eating, you have to eat when they tell you to eat. You have to eat as much as they tell you to eat. So if they tell you, if you sit down and they give you a bagel and you have to rock that bagel from early in the morning to evening time, dinner time, and that's all you get. And maybe they throw you a couple MREs, meal ready to eat meals. Oh my god, them disgusting meals they have with the military. Them boys, most of them guys probably got PTSD from them damn MREs, Jack. Those shits is nasty. But they got the MREs. If that's all you eat what they tell you to eat when they tell you to eat. One of the other things that I think Cody might have a problem with, um, they have to write a death letter, and I thought that this part was crazy, especially about the timing that I mentioned earlier. Could you imagine your child passed away a month before you go do this job, this gig, this special forces competition, right? And you have to write a death letter to your loved ones. Like if something happens to you, you write a letter, basically detailing like, how much you cared about them, how much you miss them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is something that, you know, um, officers sometimes do, police officers do, sometimes firemen do, sometimes soldiers do. Right. And I think some of the upper tier one guys, I think they also definitely do this because something happens, all you might get is a letter. Right. A letter, and they tell you he ain't coming home no more because they can't tell you what he was doing or what she was doing. So that's that. But he had to do a death letter, and so I'm sure that that's going to be something that they film and they lean into. And you might hear about, again. This is one of the things that's going to bother me about this particular show is that we might hear heavily about Big G's passing on this show, and I do have concerns about that. Um, Another funny thing, lighten the mood a little bit. You can't go to the bathroom alone. You can't go to the bathroom by yourself because they treat it like it's a hostile place. And, obviously, if you ever played a video game or you watched a Rambo movie or Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, they always catch the one guy off by himself and pick his ass off, pull him up in the trees or something. Like, so you can't, anytime you go, you got to basically like announce to a room full of people, like, hey, I got to hit the loo. Anybody want to go too? Like, anybody got to go run some water or whatever, lay bricks, you got to tell them and get somebody to go with you. Like, if you're ass, like how many people, like, especially they said that Cody be getting on people's nerves. He'd be like, guys, anybody got to go to the bathroom? No, hold it. Guys, I can't hold it anymore. We about to have an incident. We got them two tendrils hanging off. Guys, we're in trouble. Let's just say the boat's about to hit the beach. So yeah, you can't go to the bathroom by yourself. Always mic'd up, even in the bathrooms. They don't take the mics off. They don't turn the cameras off. That's another weird thing about this show. None of the contestants know where any of the cameras are. So a lot of the staging and positioning that you watch Cody do, like throughout his time on the show, where he, like, especially most notably, was when he was yelling at Christine about the knife in the kidneys and all that stuff. Oh, there's sacrifice for you. Oh, they said, yeah. Like, and he had to try to get the perfect angle from when he was doing that, or the time that he was letting Mary go. And Mary, I can't be with you no more. Let me hug you in a way where everybody can see my face. Robin did the same thing, right? They can see me cry because I'm so upset and I'm not wasting these tears for nothing. So you don't have that on this show. And I think that that's kind of interesting. The last thing I'll say, well, not the last thing, but one of the last things I'll say, they don't get to talk back to the staff. The only thing they want to hear out of you is yes, staff, no staff, which is an upgrade, I guess, from yes, sir, no, sir. Right? Cody gonna have a problem with this because they don't care. They don't care, bro. They don't care. They don't care what you think. So, boss, I don't think we should be going down here. I don't care. Get your ass down there. Do what I tell you to do. So that might be a problem. Like this might be the one time you get to see Cody being told something and he doesn't get to respond. Last two things. First thing, you get to receive, like as far as payment, it's not like the traditional reality show format where you get paid for the number of episodes that you're on. So if you do 20 episodes, you get double the money than if you do 10 episodes. You do 10, you get paid 100. You do 20, you get paid 200. Like that kind of math. They don't do that. You get a flat fee for this particular show, to my understanding. Now, the money, again, it's 2 weeks. The money starts and the fee starts at for participation. There's a fee for participation. There's no competition. You compete with yourself. You don't compete with each other. So you're not trying to win money. The fee for appearing on this show, guys, hold on to your seats. And folks, try to hold your lunch down. Is $100,000 to start. $100,000. 100 bands, like $100,000, 100 yards, whatever you want to say, however you want to put it. $100,000 to start. And it goes up depending on like your demand, how in demand you are, or how famous you are. Like for instance, if Cody does it, he might get 100, 150, maybe he can negotiate a little more, maybe close to 2. If a Kardashian goes on it, they're getting paid at least $1 million, $1 million, $2 million to do the same thing. And they're out there with the same stuff. So that's going to be, I think, a point of contention as well, because if, some of these people whom he might not respect, oh, guys, it wouldn't be a show unless us guys were doing it because we're the ones who are going to be out here sweating and making the stuff happen and doing all this physical stuff. And you ladies ain't going to be doing nothing. You need to go make us some dinner, right? Mr. Macho Man, need to make me some food. Just because I like you to cook my meal don't mean I can't cook my own. Actual quote that he said. And the reality of it is that some of these ladies who are on this show, a few of them I'm thinking about, I think almost everybody I'm thinking about would make more than him. So that's going to sting too. Like, so not only are you on a show where you can't talk back to none of the people who are yelling in your face, telling you what to do and disrespecting you, because, respect is the most important thing. If you don't respect me, you keep the love. Like, he's going to be getting disrespected. And then when he looks to his left and looks to his right, he's going to see a bunch of people that he probably doesn't respect making 2 to 3 times more than he is doing the same shit. That is going to drive him crazy. So looking forward to that. Where's my other stuff? Okay. So when we get through that, like there's a point where Cody choosing this moment raises a question. Is it about distraction? Is it about image rehab? Is it about proving himself? Because some of the people who go on this show, they say the reason why they did this show wasn't for the money. They wanted to prove to themselves that they could do it. They could hack it. That, he had 2 sons who were in the military. Now he's doing his special forces training. So that gives him a leg up over the guys who went in, his, I think he had 2 sons, Peyton and Big G. They went in enlisted. And then you have, you have Hunter, who went into the academy. So he came out as a lieutenant, right? He came out as an officer. And if he can go in and he can become a tier 1 guy, like he can become one of the special forces guy, then that gives him, perhaps in his mind, a leg up over his kids. And that'll be him reaffirming that he's better than his kids. So maybe it's that he's proven himself that way. The image rehab, of course, he's being introduced to a larger audience, and that way he can maybe get around some of the struggles and obstacles that he has being tied to Sister Wives, because the fans of Sister Wives are never going to forgive him. So he has to reach out to fans of different shows and try to pull them in. And again, I think that that's what we've been watching for the last 3-4 seasons on this show. Him getting ready for this moment and bringing these people in. So, because it also falls back to when people start to, if anybody tries to bust them out and say, oh, well, all the staff, they know about your issues with your wives and everything else. He could fall back on, well, if you've ever watched the show, I've constantly, uh, I constantly argued those points. I constantly disputed those things that I'm being accused of. I've always said that I was, always there. I was always present. I was always a good man, always a good husband. And it's those people who made me look bad. So the second thing that I wanted to say about this new trailer was the new wife narrative. There, like the whole trailer tease of women allegedly calling in, wanting to join the family and date Cody and find out how they could get involved with the family. On the surface, this softens Cody's image, right? If he's so bad, this is the question we would have to ask. If all these women are trying to get in touch, and I'm sure this is the way he's looking at it. If I'm so bad, why do women still want to join my family? Because these women see what everybody in the world, because, you listen to them talk, everybody in the world agrees with him. Everybody in the world will see through Christine, Mary, and Janelle and see them for the treacherous women that they are, who destroyed the family because they wanted to seek what? Happiness? These women wanted to have smiles on their faces. Right? It's not about their happiness. It's about the happiness of the family. See, I have to consider the big picture, which is me and my own happiness. So, you have that whole thing where if Cody can establish that these other women want to join, then he can argue to himself and argue to other people that he must not be so bad because all these people still want to join the family. But the first question that I would have when I heard that is I want to see verification. I don't believe shit till shit happens. Sorry, just the way I'm kind of built. I don't believe stuff till stuff happens. And so if he's going to make the argument that, all these women are trying to get at me, I want to see the letter. I want the women to come on to the show and I want to see that they real people and not just something that I got all these honey dips. Where they live at? Oh, they all live up in Canada. Got a girlfriend in Canada. She, you ain't never gonna meet her because she live in Canada. Yeah, yeah. I see her in the summertime. Man, you 12 years old. How the hell you dating somebody in Canada? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like, you ain't never gonna see my girlfriend. I do got a girlfriend though. Like that kind of imaginary woman. And there's that point too where are women really lining up? Or is this a storyline planted to make Cody look more desirable? Because that's the other part of it. Is that, my dad, years ago, I won't say who the actress is, but she was known for being pretty, a beautiful woman. Like, that's one of the things that, like, the monikers that she had, right? Oh, she's a pretty lady, pretty. And my dad looked at her, and it wasn't that he was being mean. He was just like, look, I'm going to be honest. Like, if you look at her, she's just like everybody else. She's the girl next door. You could get somebody who looks just like her anywhere in America, across the overseas. You can get somebody who look just like her. She's not, she's not a stunner. But because people have given her that label and talk about her that way, everybody approaches her that way. And it wasn't him trying to be mean. He was giving me the power of influence of what people think. And part of that is, if you want to have a sex symbol, you have to have numbers of people who want that person. Like, we've had People Magazine, they used to do the Sexiest Man Alive covers all the time. There's been a couple covers here, as quiet as it's kept. Little insider show business. I'm gonna give you guys some insider stuff. Here's the thing. The Sexiest Man Alive, Your agent puts that in. Yeah, that's something that's secured by your agent. That's how you get included on the list. Your agent gets you included on the list. And if you're the kind of person that they want to they think they can sell more copies by putting you on the cover and making you sexiest man alive, they will do it. That's how they pick it. It's not that this guy is amazing. Like he cooked. Have you ever tried his omelets? Oh my gosh. It's incredible. He is a gourmand chef. When he's not out saving children from burning buildings, he's planting forest. Like, you know what I mean? It's none of that. All right. But when you get part of the reason why they do that, and your agent would lobby for you to be the sexiest man in America or included in that list, is because when they go and negotiate with movie houses or they go and negotiate you for different gigs or jobs, they can use that moniker as a negotiation tool, right? It's because they, you know, the people that they're talking to, it's not like they're saying like, oh, okay, they're the sexiest people alive. I mean, have you ever been to California? Everybody in California is good looking, right? Think about California is a place where the best looking people at every school go to California because they all think they're going to be stars. And they think that because they're the best looking people in a town. But then they get to California and they're one of 1,000 people who are the best looking people from their schools or from their town or whatever. So it's not that this guy is so amazing looking that we got to put him in this movie. It's that other people think that he's amazing. And I think that Kody is trying to use that same logic, that if he can put it out that he's highly sought after, highly desirable by all these women who are trying to come into the family, that some of you guys will start to reconsider him. Good luck with that, Kody. Good luck, Chief. Good luck. I don't think anybody's falling for it, but you know, the plans have very little to do sometimes with probability. You also saw something similar to that. We're gonna mirror it back because you also saw something very similar to that to what he did with Robin, because he was when Robin first came into the family, if you recall, he said there was all these guys in the church who were trying to get at her. There's all these guys who were trying to talk to her and secure her, and I beat those guys out. Right? Where them guys at? What them guys? And here's the thing too. What did those guys look like? What did those guys have to offer? I could see if Kody could pump his chest and say, you know, I want her over because she had an opportunity to date a guy who was a CEO of such and such, a CFO of Knickknacks Incorporated, and he was worth $10 billion. And she looked at me and she said that when I'm going to follow my heart, because when I look at you, the Thundercat be roaring. Yeah. But as I get older, it's not a Thundercat anymore. It's a saber-tooth tiger. And he don't roar as much as growl. It's I'm sorry. But that's what he told us. He told us, like, okay, now if he would have said that he had all these guys who were like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and the guy in charge of Amazon, right? And they all came down and they was trying to scoop Robin, and she weaved her way through all those limousines and Rolls Royces and helicopters and stuff, came to pick her up and said, no, I'm going to marry Kody Brown because he is the most thunderific person I know, and lightning struck me and it's amazing. It went through my body. Right? If she did that, I would be impressed. But if you got a bunch of guys, like one of them's a door greeter at Walmart, one of them working at the Getty, the other guy working at the Sheets or the 7-Eleven, the Quickie Mart, the Wawa, whatever, right? In and out. And then you have Kody Brown, who has a potential television show. Yeah, I want to know that the guys can't get you and that you all minds. Well, let somebody show up with more money. Yeah, I'm pretty much sure. Like, that's the way that works. Those types of relationships, and this is always funny to me because Kody revealed that he believes that all these romantic relationships are transactional. You know, when he was talking about hypergamy and how women go after guys who have more money, and the more money you have, the easier it is for you to secure women and get women. here's the thing. If that's the case, then your woman is your woman as long as she don't meet somebody who's making more money than you. And that's also ridiculous because Kody Brown was broke for most of his adult life. So the fact that his existence challenges the very premise that the manosphere is built on. That's that as an aside. Because if you are saying that the only way you can get a woman is if you work six figures, you're worth financially six figures. You got all your shit together. You tall, you handsome, you in shape, got six figures, six pack abs, and you 6 feet tall, 6'6", sign of the devil, right? You got all these things, and you could get all these women. But then here you are, broke as a damn joke, ain't got two pennies to rub together, pockets turned out like rabbit ears, trying to figure shit out, and you got 3 women, 18 kids, or 4 women, 18 kids, and you broke as shit. And technically 3 women, 12 kids before Truly was born, and he met Robin. So you had 3 women, and you convinced 3 women to give you 12 children, and you're broke as shit, but you think that all those women are there for money. I don't know what you're smoking, bro, but it should be illegal in at least 50 of the 50 states. I'm just saying. But moving on. If people are indeed calling to try to get to Kody, the next thing that we would have to ask ourselves, are they real? The next question would be, why? Why would women call to find out about Kody? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have handsome guys in your, like, if you thought Kody was a good-looking dude, right? He's super hot, he's super fine, he's so in shape. You don't have gyms in your town. You can go to gyms and you'll find middle-aged guys who are in damn good shape working out at gyms, if that's what you're into. Especially if you into like assholes, you could go into that same gym and find some guys in there that have taken so many substances, chicken and broccoli, a Marvel special. Like all of a sudden they like this, and next thing you know, right before movie shoots, 3 weeks later, they put on 50 pounds of muscle. That chicken and broccoli, bam, in their ass, right? You could go down and get somebody like that. Them guys be temperamental and flipping out and doing crazy stuff too. And you'll have a guy who's probably better looking than Kody and way crazier than Kody at your local gym. So why would these women reach out to try to find Kody? And to me, it's very simple. Exposure on a national television show. That's what the same reason you got your 4th wife. That's why these women are, if there are women reaching out to you, that's why they're reaching out to you. For the same reason Robin reached out to you and stalked your ass out in the church. Like, come on now. And she'll claim that she felt the lightning bolt when she saw you too. That wasn't a lightning bolt. That was a camera light. There's a difference. The next thing is the financial perks. It's a 6-figure salary that we're talking about. CLC checks is 6 figures. Who wouldn't sign up for six? There's still a point where only 1% of the population makes 6 figures to themselves. Like, it's not everybody ain't doing it. It's a big deal. So this is not a small opportunity for them to be cast as the new person on a reality show and garner most of the attention from that show, because a new wife coming on that show will get way more attention than anybody who's been in existence on the show, potentially even rivaling Christine and Janelle as far as interviews and talking to people. Because the big questions will be, have you ever seen the show? Did you see how Kody was left by his other wives? And why the hell would you do this to yourself? Like, these will be questions that they will be asked and consistently asking. She might be the first time in a long time that she shows up on a show like Good Morning America, if he did get a new wife. So yeah, that's why women will want to sign up for this. There's also a point where, they would get access to Robin's, a Robin-like house. Because they the new wife. If Robin's in a $2 million house, then this woman is going to come in and she's going to demand a $2 million house too. So she can go from like trailer park, double wide, to $1 million home. Projects, $500,000 house. Like, people are like, oh, she wouldn't sell her virtue for that. People have sold their virtue for way less. Shit. Robin. Now, but look, tradition-wise, it's my understanding that according to their faith and their practices in polygamy, this would actually be a full pot anyway. And Mel and Corey, if you guys see this, you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. It's my understanding that if a woman wants to come into a polygamous family, she has to reach out to the wives. She has to contact the wives first, and they have to go through the wives, and then the wives have to approve everything and be a part of everything. It's not a thing where they can just start chasing after dudes to try to round up and wrangle the dudes that they want to talk to. Like, that's just my understanding of how things don't work. Now, clearly, Cody can't criticize this woman for doing it. And technically, Robin can't either, because we are aware by their own admission that the two of them had communication before the other wives were involved. The first wife to be involved was Mary. But Mary wasn't aware that the two of them had been in church catching lightning bolts between the two of them, throwing thunderbolts at each other like Raiden from Mortal Kombat, for my gamer folks out there. Mortal Kombat. Flawless victory. Fatality. You know what I mean? Because they killed the shit out of them other relationships. And Robin walked away with all the money. Flawless victory. So, this is something that was a full pot. So it'll be kind of interesting to see them try to backpedal off of that so that they can criticize this woman for coming in and trying to enter into the family. I think that all the wives had kind of said that on the stage before Tamara had left. I think that they had said that before, like, oh, women always say that about us, like they want to be the fifth wife, and they joke around. It's very insulting, and we don't like it. And if they want to join the family, like, women will reach out to Cody, but that's not how you do it. You're supposed to reach out to us. And they were very animated about that being the whole process. But again, that's not what the fourth wife did. And she's the one that does no wrong. So I don't know why, she was the one that was standing on the table talking about this is inappropriate, this is ridiculous. And, basically calling them like skip, scap, scallywags. These sloppy sluts are out here chasing my man to no avail because he is a good man. Except for when I hit him with the Thundercat. Thundercat. Ho! You know what I mean? So go figure. Then you have part 3. And this is where it gets kind of jacked up. Cody's redemption play. All right. And this kind of rounds it all out. And then we'll get into I'll go through some of the stuff. We'll see what's happening. And we'll talk about the chat. But point 3, Cody's redemption play. For Cody to be redeemed in the public eye, he has to switch roles with somebody. And I think that this is very important. This is going to be very important. And this is where I think that the show is, to coin an old phrase, this is where the show is going to jump the shark. Okay. Because of what they're setting up, what I feel them setting up to happen in this season, starting this season. And that's simply this. For Cody to be redeemed in the public eye, he has to switch roles with somebody. What do you mean switch roles? Become a wife and somebody else become a husband? No, that would be Robin when she's pegging him. No, I'm talking about dirty joke. I'm talking. Okay, James. So, where's my boy at? Hold on. I got to put my boy up. Where my dude at? Hold on. What'd you say, Hunter?
Settle down, Johnny Appleseed.
I'm gonna take it easy, Hunter. Not switch roles as a husband. What I'm talking about is, in order for reality shows to function, you have to have a couple mainstay things in every reality show. I don't care what you're watching. I don't care if you're watching a cooking show, right? Somebody on that show is going to be the good guy, and somebody on that show is going to be the villain. Somebody's going to garner sympathy. Somebody else is going to garner, that reviled person. Like they become that person. They disgust me, right? That person. And then sometimes that person becomes the most popular or famous person on that show. Not necessarily the most popular, but the most famous person on that show. Like how many times if you go back to Survivor, everybody remembers the asshole guy who basically tricked everybody, and he came up with a plan to turn everybody against each other. He's the one that set that up. Everybody remembers him. Like I don't necessarily remember his name, but I remember his face. But I don't remember anybody else on the cast, and I don't remember anybody else's story. So you remember the villain. So it has to have this show in order for it to move forward. Has to have a villain. I had said previously, and I kind of still stand on this. If anybody has to get thrown under the bus, like if they have to choose between like the producers or whatever who are producing this show has to choose between anybody else, we're going to take Cody out. Cody's going to quit. Robin's going to quit. Somebody else has to be the villain. It's going to be Mary. Mary's going to be the villain. All right. And I'm still there. I still believe that's true. But my thing is this, and this is important. If the wives aren't careful, it could be all of them sitting in the villain seat. Why do you say that, James? That's impossible. Not necessarily. Because if you look at how things are being set up and the way he's setting things up, Cody is setting it up that I'm happy with the person I have. And as these women move on, and like Christine, she has a husband. Janelle has moved on. She doesn't necessarily have a boyfriend or a husband, but she has her own business. She's dealing with her kids. She's dealing with her grandkids. She has her own life. Mary is surrounded by her friends. She has her own life. So the question is always going to be, and Cody even started doing this on the show during the tell-alls and even some of the regular episodes on the confession couch, where he's come out and said point blank, why are these women still talking about me? I'm not talking about them. They're still talking about me. Okay, fine. You left me. You divorced me. It's over. Go get your life. You say you don't want to have nothing to do with me. Don't have nothing to do with me. Go get your life. So what he's doing is, and this is one of the things, like we talk about like manipulation, we talk about narcissists. This is one of the things that a narcissist per se may do, and that's create a situation where they throw stones and they hide their hands. They create a situation, they create a problem, then all of a sudden they step back, wait till everybody gets riled up, worked up real good. Then they come at the person here, they get everybody riled up and angry, and then all of a sudden the people will meet them where they are, and they mad and angry too. And the narcissist is mad and angry. The victim, the true victim, is mad and angry. And then when they get mad and angry and it's about to come to blows, all of a sudden the narcissist bring themselves all the way down. Now you still at 10, they operating around a 2 or 3. And when the police show up, the cops come, your ass out there flipping out, flipping over tables, hooping and hollering, breaking lamps and shit, going nuts, talking about you gonna bust his ass. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You don't know who you messing with. You don't know who you messing with, right? And they sitting there, oh my God, why are they acting like this? I'm so scared. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. What is he doing? Why is he talking to me this way? Right? And the police gonna come in and be like, okay, what happened? This son bitch, he calm down. Now I'm looking at him, and as I'm looking at this situation, you're the one that's still flipped out. You're the one that's still talking about him. He's calm. You're the one that's upset. It looks like it's you. Maybe I ought to put these magic bracelets on you, put you in the back of my car for a little bit so you can calm down. Throwing stones, hiding their hands. Cody created these situations. We watched him create these situations. There's a reason why he doesn't talk to his kids. Like, you know what I mean? There's a reason why the wives are so bitter and so angry. This isn't something that they just woke up and decided they wanted to bust the family up. They were being mistreated. But he's been going about the business of denying the mistreatment. And then on top of that, now he's at a point where even if you say I mistreated you, okay, fine. That's what you believe. I have a different story. You need to stop talking. Just live your life. There's one thing that he said before during the tell-all. He said, Robin, I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry for Christine because she's so jealous of Robin and she's so envious of Robin, she'll never be happy. Basically, he's saying that Christine is cray cray. She crazy. She a crazy lady. And her jealousy and envy of Robin, because I spent equal time, like he's been saying this shit. I'm not saying nothing new. He's been saying, I spend equal time with all of them, and I don't understand why they are upset. I don't know why they're mad. I spend equal time with everybody. And so they're under the impression that I'm spending more time with Robin, but it's not that I'm spending more time with Robin or one wife or the other. He never says Robin's name. It's not that I'm spending more time with one wife or the other wife. It's just that these women always demanded more. How many times have we heard that? So it's about making them look crazy, making them look like they're out of hand, out of pocket, and unreasonable. And if the relationship is over, the question is, why are you still talking about them? Why are you still bringing them up? Why are you talking to your husband, your current husband, about me? Leave me alone. I don't want to talk about you. Find something else to talk about. Don't bring me up in public. I won't bring you up in public. I'm not thinking about you. Stop dragging me. That's what he's doing. And again, he's not doing that for us. He's doing that for the potential new people who are going to be watching the show. Just saying. And so, like I said, with the strategy that we're seeing, he's reframing his failed marriages as we couldn't make it work, but let's be friends. That's the whole purpose of the apology tour. That's why he's doing the apology tour. It has nothing to do with being sorry. It has everything to do with the notion that he's going to say, I forgive you guys for everything that happened. We all said some mean, that's some shit. We all said some mean and hurtful things that we didn't mean. We all hurt each other's feelings. Reinforcement, Robin, we're not selling Kody Pass because these guys have been out trying to hurt each other. Clearly, she's not talking about fucking Cody. Pardon my French. She's talking about the OG3 in support of throwing them under the bus. That's what we're watching. Then you have him position the ex-wives, like I said, as bitter, obsessed, and unable to move on. This makes him, again, the reasonable one. The one who's, full of energy. Remember how I used to be? I was so happy. I was so light, but then they just beat me down. I'm the victim. I'm the one who was mistreated. I'm the one that everybody talks about how much they were hurt because they got a divorce. Each one of you ladies got one divorce. I had 3. So my problems, my grief is times 3. So whatever you were feeling, that's times 3 about it. Even though I caused it, which I'll never say, right? That's the whole mentality that I think is going on. Like, this makes him the reasonable one, like I said. So there's, of course, there's classic gaslighting. Everybody in the world is crazy. That's not what happened. You guys are Looney Tunes if you think that Cody didn't spend all the time. Even when Janelle said it, which they got into their big argument in season 18. Cody, you haven't been here for months. I've been here day in, day out. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's what he called her, a liar. When she said that you haven't been here. That's a lie. I've been in here day in and day out. You've already said that you haven't seen your kids for months. And I think he was going on like a year. By the time they got in an argument, he'd gone almost a year for like spending time with Janelle like that. So, I mean, I think that's something to say. And just, with the season 20 trailer, it's more than just drama. It's a setup for Cody's new image. That's what we're watching. Like, this whole thing, I think this is going to be Cody's season. That's why he's in the foreground of the promo materials and the wives are in the background, because this is supposed to illustrate the love story that I've said. Go back, watch my old videos. I'm telling you, I've said this shit a long time ago. This whole show was supposed to be about Robin and Cody's love story. Full stop. It wasn't supposed to be about him navigating the sister wives and their opinion on like marriage. It was supposed to be his and Robin's love story and how these wicked women are trying to ruin his relationship with his new bride. because out of their jealousy. Because again, somebody has to be the victim. This wasn't going to be all four of them are good people or all wholesome folks. Those three women were supposed to be the villains of this show. And Cody and Robin were going to be the victims of their villainy. So I think that that's something that, like I said, we just have to keep in mind. Like, so you have like a part of that whole Cody rebrand is going to be the soldier and training montage that you have on Special Forces, where you see him doing a whole, like in the mind, you'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna be doing a whole bunch of cool stuff. Like I'm gonna be rappelling out of helicopters. They probably had me shooting stuff, and I'm gonna be like, what's that guy's name? Deadpool, I guess, yeah. Or Deadshot when Will Smith, ting, 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 hitting all the targets. Like, oh, it's going to be beautiful. Oh, it's going to be like a montage. I'm going to put some music behind me. I'm going to have some rocking. I'm going to have somebody just shooting sparks like a 1980s video, heavy metal video. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to rebrand the hell out of this. And then you get on Special Forces. They got his ass in the desert crying. You know what I mean? Because it's too hard. Like, the shit is crazy. They trying to impact you mentally. Here's a little side note. If you ever sign up for a reality show, and part of your requirement to be on that reality show is you have to go talk to a psychologist so that they can make sure that you aren't going to, walk off a cliff or something because they yell at you too much. That's your first clue. That's a terrible show. You should probably hard pass that shit. So you have the whole like soldier and training thing. Then you have the desired husband with the new applicants, people trying to rejoin the family. Then of course you have the reasonable expositioning himself as the victim of the obsessed wives. I'm the victim of these women's tyranny. These women can't let me go. I've already let them go. I've already moved on. I've already accepted that we're no longer together. They're the only ones talking about me. This is where, when he said that on the tell-all, that's when I was like, just because, like I said, sometimes I guess I'm petty, but just the petty side of me was like, see right there, stop talking about his ass, because you're giving it like he's relishing in the fact that you guys are still talking about him. You're not hurting his feelings because you call yourself out there telling the truth and telling your truth and telling the story. He loves the fact that you're still talking about him. He loves that. He's eating it up. Oh, delicious. Thank you very much. May I have another? So like from that respect, maybe we should move on. Like the Sister Wives guys maybe want to consider letting his part of it go. Because again, you just put money in his pocket at this point. I have some questions for you guys. Do you buy the new wife storyline, or is it pure spin? If you're curious whether you can leave a message on SpeakPipe, these are some of the questions you guys could answer. Do you buy the new wife storyline, or is it pure spin? Is it just merely storyline? Is it just that storyline, fictitious, like smoke and mirrors, like something to talk about? Like Robin definitely doesn't want to bring, because there's no way in the world. Cody is not going to go out and get somebody who is, I dare to say, I'll step back off that. I don't think Cody's going to go out and get somebody who will be age appropriate. I think he's going to go out and try to get something young, slim, and fine, right? To bring into the family, because that's sizzle right there. You get a personal benefit because you're dating somebody young and vibrant. You get to wick off and steal their youth. Then you get the fame portion of it, because people are going to be talking about him going out getting a 20-year-old or late 20s, early 30s, entering into that dirty 30 stage, that pre-cougar. Get one of them pre-cougars. The cat is strong in this one, Thundercat. Right? So I can see him doing that. And then Robin there's no way in the world Robin's gonna sit back and be rivaled by some young fine thing. There's no way in the world. Young fine thing. Yeah, Robin ain't gonna put up with that shit. Having that young girl walk around there, looking all good and stuff, looking like looking good like a plate of mashed potatoes, looking good like a plate of potatoes. Why you say taters? Because you trying to smash. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way in the world she letting that happen. You can forget about that. That's why Cody gonna figure out what it's like to be in a monogamous relationship real quick. You know what I mean? You sitting there with your wife. Hey, can I join your family? Baby, don't even think about this. Welcome to monogamy, mother. Don't even think about that shit. Don't even say it. Don't even say it. Don't think about it. Don't speak of it. If you think about it, you better go dunk your head in some water, because watch them the evil thoughts out of your brain, because there ain't no way in the world we bringing somebody up in here. Like, it's not happening. So welcome to monogamy, Cody, because Robin is not playing that shit. You know, she needs, especially the way it kind of came off to me, Robin was comfortable with the other wives because she thought she was better than the other wives. There's no way Robin is bringing in somebody who she would see as competition. This is not even taking a shot at the ladies as to who they are, what they contributed to the family. I'm saying from Robin's perspective, what she values, what she thinks is important, what she thinks is attractive. She's not going to bring somebody in who can rival her on those points. Somebody who has the patience, because this new woman, you know, regardless of what she looked like or how old she is, she hasn't dealt with Cody. Robin's been dealing with Cody for the last 15, almost 2 decades at this point. She's fresh. She's fresh off the bench. So she can come and give him that vigor. She can give him that honeymoon experience, because she's not, she doesn't have any, you don't have any financial investments or ties with him. So if he go out and do stupid stuff, that's on him. 2, when push him down to shove, like I said, you haven't really dealt with them all like that. So you got a little break. You can come in, you got more patience. So I think that there's no way Robin's bringing that in so he can experience that honeymoon situation with somebody else. And she becomes the back wife, the basement wife. Not happening. And then, of course, there's is TLC setting Cody up for redemption, or is he doing it himself? And that's one of the things that I guess we could question and struggle with. Is this TLC's doing? Are they laying the groundwork for him to just follow the plan? Or is this something he's come up with himself? And maybe that's part of the reason why TLC has allowed contradictory information, which they've never done before, come out. When he says, things worked out this way, they've never really had a situation on Sister Wives where Cody makes a statement or Robin makes a statement and they roll tape immediately after he gets finished saying it, showing the exact opposite thing of what he said happened. They've never done that. So I don't know whether it's TLC doing it or whether it's him. I mean, TLC might be pulling like the double switcheroozy. Like, they might be telling Cody what to do, and then at the same time, they got fans and a fan base who don't like Cody, so they just throwing Cody ass under the bus to the fans. They feed him to the fans. So if it goes good and Cody blows up and he, becomes highly sought after, then they have him in the TLC reality show stable. If things blow up and they have to cut his ass loose, then they've kept their fans happy. So, I mean, it could be that TLC is helping him and is pushing him and is trying to redeem his character because they do want to continue to work with him and continue to make money off of him. But then at the same time, it could be just him doing it on his own. No, I thought I turned that off. Did not. Then last, of course, who do you think TLC will throw under the bus to elevate Cody? Because like I said, sooner or later, they're going to have some choices to make. They're going to have some decisions to make. Somebody got to be the villain. So if Cody gets elevated to a hero, which I doubt on this show, but if it does happen, who's going under the bus? All right. But let's take a look at. Oh, we had a super chat from Jody Pierce. Scala, $1.99 super chat. Let's see. We have a Survivor show is next. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Survivor. You got Naked and Afraid. Like, I'm afraid to see Cody naked, but I mean, that's a show he could do. Out there surviving, especially if he maintains his conditioning from special forces. There's a lot of shows that he would be available to do, not just Dancing with the Stars. So, and if he, and again, like it or not, will be a big driver and a big contributors to his elevation to other reality shows. Because if we watch this show and this show is extremely popular and successful, and he can say, based on the numbers, a lot of people tuned in because they wanted to see me fail on Special Forces. Imagine how many people gonna want to see me fail at Dancing with the Stars, or fail at Naked and Afraid, or fail at Survivor, Celebrity Survivor, or whatever the case may be. So Cody, like, you know, in our disdain for him, we actually are helping his career. Like, why is this kept? You know, we're helping his career. I hate him so much because the quiet, you know, like I said, quiet part out loud. TV producers, showrunners, they don't care why you watch the show. They don't care if you watch the show because you love it. They don't care if you watch the show because you hate it. If there's eyes on the screen, they can sell the show to advertisers. If they can sell the show to advertisers, that's all they care about. They don't care whether you like the show or not. They just care if you tune in. So if somebody says I can put Cody on the show and we'll have a whole bunch of sister wife people watch the show who've never watched this show before, because I mean, ask yourself, how many of you have never watched a single episode of Special Forces, but now you're looking forward to it coming out in a few weeks and plan to watch it, right? This is the 4th season. Like, this show is not like a new show. This show's been around. Show's been around, son. So that's why they do it. But let me give Jody Pierce Scott a little something. Hey. All right. Let me just check through some of the comments, and we're gonna jump into the speak pipe, round this bad boy out. Yeah, last week, man. I'm gonna apologize. I want to give a shout out to my mega mods from last week on Sunday. I didn't get a chance to do it. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much. I don't know what happened. Like, all of a sudden, my internet on my computer stopped working. Went down, tried to grab my laptop. That wasn't working. Then, according to my phone, and like all my TVs run off the internet, like they all worked. But I guess somebody decided somewhere in the universe that the show was over. I mean, the show was pretty much over. I was about to wrap it up, but I wanted to make sure I give a shout out to the Mega Mods and the Caramel Cuties, Brittany Not Brittany, and OG Triple OG Lizzie B. Make sure that I give you guys a shout out because I didn't get a chance to do it last Sunday. And I did feel bad about it. I was like, what the hell? And then when I finally got back into the system, they turned my damn because it was on, I log on to this computer to get on to the lives. They turned my drawing off because my computer went down. So big mess, big mess. But yeah, thank you guys so much. But let me check. Hold on one second. Let me just check. Let's see. What is this? I think with the current climate, when most the viewers are women, letting a twat like this get away with abusing the OG and letting him live happily ever after will burn TLC with the next thing. And that's a possibility. Unless it's like TLC, I think they're undoing themselves. I kind of talked about this before. I think TLC is undoing themselves because TLC, instead of it being like the lowest challenge, challenge to get to the lowest point the fastest, it used to be the learning channel. And even when Sister Wives started, it didn't start because, like, look, guys, we got a dude who's out here banging down 3 women at the same time. Freaky dicky. Like, that's not what it was. 90 Day Fiance wasn't about, open marriages and, seeing like couple thruples and seeing how many people we can jump into a bed at the same time. That's not what it was about. It was about opening up people's worlds. It was about allowing you to experience different types of relationships, whether it's different sexual orientations, different approaches towards commitment, whatever the case may be. Monogamous or ethical non-monogamy or whatever, however you want to classify it. It was just a way for us to see and experience these different people so that we can get to know our world better. But TLC is taking a turn. Like everything now is like salacious, like MILF Manor, that kind of thing. Like, oh, we're gonna put a bunch of older ladies in a home. They're gonna surround them by a bunch of alcohol, and they're gonna put them in a romantic island, and then they're gonna bring their sons in, let them get freaking naked. Like that shit is crazy. That is crazy. Who the hell? MILF Manor that first season. Like I said, you could get away with. They didn't really get away with it to a point. I guess they did because they had a second season of MILF Manor. But could you imagine a bunch of dudes, middle-aged men, showing up to a romantic mansion on an island? I think they were down in Mexico on the first one. They're down in Mexico, beachfront property, romantic candles, booze everywhere, food everywhere. This is a love shack, super duper love shack. Right, this is the freaky dinky. The only thing they have is Barry White pumping through the damn speakers. Barry White, Luther Vandross. You know what I mean? All that other stuff. Marvin Gaye, Teddy Pendergrass coming through, right? And then you roll their daughters out. Not only would that show get shut down, all them men would have lost their damn jobs. Them guys would have went back homeless because they all would have lost their jobs. You were on a show dating your daughter, because that's exactly what people would have said. On MILF Manor, they give them kind of the thing. And I think for me, one of the more insulting things is that the reason why you can get away with that switch, that gender switch, where you have women in a house rubbing and groping on their sons, but you couldn't have a bunch of middle-aged men bringing in their 20-something-year-old daughters, and they reaching and feeling and groping and trying to figure out whether this is their daughter or whether this is somebody else's kid, and a bunch of men telling other men, like, yeah, your daughter fine as hell. I think I want to knock her down. Like, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. The reason why you can get away with that is because at the end of the day, the producers at TLC, they revealed to me that they don't take women's sexuality serious. That's why you can get away with it. Point blank. And so I think that it's that kind of thing, that type of mentality, which is going to lead to the eventual downfall and conclusion of the TLC network and their reality, their presence in reality TV. It's just that the fact that they don't respect their subjects. They don't go out and find a couple who may have problems, but they do ethical non-monogamy. They don't go out and find plural families or poly families or anything of that nature. They find people who are I don't want to be cruel about it, but they go out and find basically a bunch of deviants, cast them on a show, and then you let the train wreck be the train wreck to a catastrophic end because the people that they bring on the show are they're such a dumpster fire. Like the entire cast of like Poly Family is a dumpster fire. Like you guys must have known what was going on. Like you can't tell me that you had no idea. TLC had no idea. And if you didn't have any idea, shame on you that you platform these people, with the things that they're allegedly guilty of. I'll say that. All right. But I think that will be the downfall because TLC is actually pushing. To me, I think TLC is pushing the limits because sooner or later, people are going to start looking at it and they're going to see them for what they are. And I think that that's going to cost them heavily. Yeah, the Poly family had got blasted quick. Yeah, they did. and it was if you could blow the Poly family up within 6 episodes of the show airing, then there's no reason in the world why you people didn't do some kind of investigation on the people. You didn't even run a background check. I mean, run a background check on the people that you bring onto your show, for goodness sakes. That would be my least. That's what I would expect you to do. But I guess to a point, here's the thing. Like I can see a world where they don't run the background checks because if they know that there's a problem and they bring them on the show anyway, then they might be liable. Right? They're going to feign ignorance So they don't run the background checks. They don't look into the people. They just take the application. If they're crazy and silly and ridiculous, they're definitely getting on the show. But they don't run background checks on them because it's not about the safety of the cast. It's not about the safety of your crew members. It's about the sensational stories that you can get out about these people and the amount of money that you can make from those sensational stories. Full stop. And I think that that's what's going to bring. I'm willing to bet that at the end of the day, that's what's going to bring down TLC. Now, it might very well be on the tail end of a lawsuit of one of these people getting hurt because TLC didn't do the proper background checks or research into the individuals that they platform. But I think that's what's actually going to knock them down. What is this? By the way, Cody does read the comments according to Christine. So let's not hold back. Well, I guess he loving my ass then. That damn James. Damn. Who gave his ass a microphone? Oh, man. Was the only dating thing I find amazing is love on the spectrum will have you in tears and wishing the best for everyone every episode. I can see that. But I think like with love on the spectrum, like I never saw the show, but I've known people who are who had challenges. I know people who have had challenges. And I grew up with some of them. And the thing that I've always low-key admired about a lot of the people that I knew growing up is that they may not understand the complexities of a lot of situations or experiences that they see, observe, or go through. But the one thing that I've always believed is that they understand a level of love and compassion that many of us, because we do have a certain level of knowledge and information, we just won't see or will never be able to reach. It's the equivalent of, if you put it in terms of like a color blindness, like many of us are colorblind to a varying degrees, but many of the people who I knew growing up who had challenges could love and see love in the full bloom and spectrum of all the colors, right? And they could experience it fully. And they didn't have fear or favor or hesitation to express those feelings, which I thought was always a gift in itself, you know, because it's one of those weird things where like I said, the people I knew, they always had challenges with people feeling sorry for them. I feel sorry for them because they'll never know. I feel sorry for them because they'll always struggle. I feel sorry for them. But the one thing I've always said is, like, don't feel sorry for them, feel sorry for yourself, because they'll experience life in a way that we should only wish to experience life. They'll understand things about life that we may not have felt or understood since we were children. So, like, everybody has something and everybody can teach you something. And I just think that's kind of where I'm at with that. But yeah, but a lot of their shows, like a lot of the 90-day stuff, is almost unwatchable now. Like, I try to watch 90 Day, but it's almost unwatchable. Like, I'm struggling. I started out my YouTube channel, My Take on Reality. I actually started out reviewing and doing a lot of 90 Day Fiance stuff. Right. But at this point, they're such a hot mess and they have so many things going on. One is too many shows. Two is too many characters to keep up with. Three, and they interchange between all the shows, which is annoying as hell. And then three, it's too much salacious. What I feel like is, like, I understand that, like, Brittany had a perfect example. She had said that when she was coming up, she would watch wrestling, and everybody liked wrestling, and everybody knew at its core wrestling was fake. Like, you could get jacked up doing wrestling. No, Look at John Cena. When he walk around, that dude got like, his whole body looks like somebody about, I've seen 80-year-old men walk around better with more fluidity and with more of a gait than he has. You know what I mean? This dude is jacked up. Like John Cena, he's rich as hell, but his body is broken. But we understood going into wrestling that it's all fake, but it's entertaining. And at the same time, I understand that in reality shows, the arguments are redrafts of arguments that they may have had or discussions they may have had, and they're coming back doing it for the camera, and maybe they have them shoot it a few times so they can get the stuff they want to say the way they want to say it, or it's audible, the things that they say, or people can't finish the conversation so they storm out, so they got to come back and reshoot it. I get that. But when it's like so crazy, it's just so put together, so put on, so overly produced, it becomes ridiculous. It's too much. It's too much, and I think that's where I'm at with a lot of the shows that are on TLC now. Okay. My son is a heel on the independent circuit. That's what's up. Yeah, I tell you, look, them fellas. Rock started out as a villain. Dwayne Johnson, he started out as a villain. Yeah, well, actually, technically, he was I think he started out. He was a good guy, but his breakout character was a villain, because villains are always way more interesting than a lot of the hero dudes, especially in wrestling. Like the guys I remember the most are the guys who are kind of like heel-ish, Hulk Hogan. Yeah, all his problems aside, he was popular, but like people would do the Hulk Hogan, brother, blah blah blah. But the guy I really remember, Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah, Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. That dude used to crack me up. Him and the Four Horsemen, bad guys. They were heels. So it's just good on him. It's a lot of work though. Those things are a lot of work, and they're dangerous as hell. So, gotta keep them and protect them, because that job is serious. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, yeah, right. But yeah, let's get to the I don't want to keep you guys too late. Let's get to the phone calls. We had a few. We'll open it up with Megatron first. Megatron in the house.
James. I know I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one. 'Cause baby, I broke every ankle I own running to my take on reality comment section when I seen the upcoming season promo for season 20. My God in heaven. What in the Sam heck is going on here? Robin dictating? Coyote Pass? Miss, I ain't put a dime in. Look, boy, do you know I cannot wait for the night? I can't wait. James. I know I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one. 'Cause baby, I broke every ankle I own running to my take on reality comment section when I seen the upcoming season promo for
I had it on loop by mistake. But yeah, Megatron broke every ankle she owned. And we are this Sunday. Unless something happens, we're going to be talking about Robin and her statement and why I think she's making that statement, and the depth of what she's actually saying at that time. We're going to put it in a context, because again, I think that the timeline matters. The timeline matters. So when this stuff is being said and what they're talking about makes a difference. It's not like right now. Just to give a little preview on it, because I kind of touched on it before. Right now, we're looking at Christine. She has several Airbnbs. She's doing financially well. She's married to a guy who's doing very, very well financially, as far as I know, with his business. You have Mary, who's doing well financially with her MLM, and between to Lizzie's Inn and having that property, and you know she's doing well financially, and she started the whole business Worthy Up. Then of course you have Janelle with Tieta Farms, and Maddie. They're doing very well down at their location. But when this was being filmed, when all this was going on, and Robin was making all these statements, these women didn't have a lot of that stuff going on. So that takes a different that's a different take altogether. When she says, I'm going to hold back money and profit that we would get from selling this property. That's a power play. Essentially what she's saying is, when you come back, you're going to have to, when we talk about this land, we talk about splitting up this money and giving you money that you guys are going to need because you don't have anything right now. You don't have much going on. Janelle could use that money to help with kickstart her business. You guys are going to have to come crawling back to me. And that's the feeling I have. And we're going to talk about it this Sunday. So make sure you call in, come in and call in for the call-in show, because we're going to be talking about Robin's ass this Sunday. But thank you very much, Megatron. Appreciate you. Broke every ankle you got. Hopefully you're okay. Get well soon, Megatron. Love my Southern folks. Get that warm feeling. You know what I mean? It's like going home. I didn't grow up in the South, but spent a lot of time down there. I miss it to a degree. Yeah. But next up we have someone who's calling in from Anonymous. That's a beautiful thing, guys. If you guys want to call in now, especially, let me just put this invite out there. If you are a supporter of Kody Brown, if you are a supporter of Robin Brown, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. If you want to call in, say, you could put in your name, I love Kody. I love Robin. I love Kody and Robin. Love birds #1. Whatever you want to put in, let me know, or hit me up in the when you get into the green room backstage. Let me know. Send me a message. I love these guys. I'm a big supporter of the Brown families, especially Kody and Robin, the two lost lovers who have been misunderstood. Let me know, because I'd love to hear from you. Because I've been covering this thing for years now, and I've yet to run into anybody who is a fan of theirs. I mean, we get some people who troll and act like they fans of Kody and Robin's, but it just seems like they're more against the OG3 than they are in support of Kody and Robin. So I wanted to talk to somebody who's a supporter. But this is a person who called in anonymous, which I allow. If you're anonymous, you feel free to call in or leave a message on speakpipe.com/mytakeonreality. Let's take a listen to what they got to say.
Hi, James. This is a listener from Germany. I'm calling in regards to the time where Christine was offended by when Ken told Kody to basically divorce 3 of his wives and come back to Mormonism. And he said he will not go to his best friend and say, come apologize for offending my wife. But many years forward, he told his sons that basically they're not welcome in his own home until they come back and apologize for offending his wife, Robin. What do you think the difference is between his best friend, Ken, and his own sons? Or his wife, Christine, versus his wife, Robin? It's a very big telltale sign to me that he valued one wife over the other, just in that situation alone.
Well, I will give you this right off the top, anonymous. Right off the top. I wish I had thought of that sooner. I wish I made that connection sooner, because it's an excellent point. We all know what the difference is. It's not the fact that, you know, he cherishes his friendship with the guy Ken, who he probably doesn't even talk to this day, more than he cherished his relationship with his sons. It was 100% who they had the disagreement with. If Robin would have been the one standing out there flipping out, talking about, I'm insulted because he's telling you got to get rid of 3 of your wives and you can come back to the church, bump this. I need an apology. Cody would have went back to Ken, told him he got to apologize. He's going to pack his family up. 100%. If it was Robin doing it, 100%. Robin, I don't think was insulted at the time. Like I said, timeline matters. What was going on at the time matters. Robin wasn't insulted or afraid because she understood at the time she was legally married to Cody. I think when all this was going down, she was legally married to Cody. And she was the favored wife above all other wives. So she wasn't concerned that if Cody has to pick a wife, she knew she was the one that was getting picked. So at the end of the day, whether she chose to stay with Cody or leave Cody, the choice was going to be hers and not his. So she was okay with it. That's why she wasn't insulted and it wasn't a big deal. But Christine, she felt vulnerable, which is why I don't think Christine was as mad about Ken saying that as she was about the fact that she felt vulnerable and insecure when she heard it. And she knew that if Cody was going to get rid of some wives, 3 wives, her name was going to be on that list. And I think that's why Christine flipped out. But 100%, you're 100% right. Like at the end of the day, it's Robin. It's the wife, not the person who did the offense. Because both of them said something which offended the other wives. And Cody didn't. Like Cody talking about punching his kids in the face. But he didn't say he was even going to have a terse or tense word with his friend who deeply insulted one of his wives by telling him that he needed to get rid of his wives. So the crazy part is, in that instance, it wasn't just an insult towards Christine. He really insulted Cody. Because according to their faith, I'm just using their logic, not mine. According to their logic, the men run the families. So if you have a family and you're in control of what's going on in your family and you allow this to happen, then that's your mistake. That's on you. You're the one that's sitting here with 4 wives. These women ain't sitting here married plural. You're the one who's married plural. So if anybody should have been offended, it should have been Cody. But next up, we have a little PSA from Brittany, not Brittany, which is awesome.
Hey, James. I just wanted to get on here real quick and give a super quick spoiler-free review of Christine's book. I was able to get my hands on it early. First and foremost, if you can, get it as an audiobook. It reads kind of funky, like it reads as if she's talking to you, which especially for like it does not translate well into book format. Like it's good, the information in there is good, but it definitely reads kind of weird to me. So yeah, definitely try to get it in audio format if you can. Secondly, it is not a memoir in the traditional like tell-all kind of way. It is first and foremost like it's in the religion section. It is more faith-based. It talks about her her sort of deconstructing from the AUB. Yes, she does talk about, her relationship with Cody and all the wives, including Robin. And, do get more details about some things that happen between them. But definitely manage your expectations. It is juicy, but it's not juicy.
All right. Brittany, not Brittany, with some down low information coming through. Yeah, guys. I wanted to specifically talk about this or address this. Let's keep it all the way above. This damn book deal, I feel like we're at the precipice of getting scammed. I feel a scam coming. And why do I say that? James, why you say that? Christine wouldn't do that to us. Apparently she would. Because you're selling this book under the auspice that like the rumors and the information that was leaked to us YouTubers and that we've been pushing out to you guys has been, and it's I don't know if I've done it as much, but I've definitely heard people come out and say, "Oh, this book is going to be super juicy." Guys, I've heard that Cody, I think I've said this. Cody tried to stop the book from coming out because it's too hot for TV, like that kind of stuff. And all that does is it pushes the book and make people want to go out and buy the book. Now, we're buying the book with the expectation that it's going to talk about Christine and her life in the family. More importantly, I guess more in particularly, not necessarily more importantly, but in particularly, she's basically going to go out and tell the truth about what was actually going on behind the doors and behind the scenes in the Brown household. That's why people were buying the book. I don't think anybody was buying the book because they wanted to have a better understanding of polygamy. You understand what I mean? Like, I think that's like the that point might actually hurt Christine. Like, if that is the case, I haven't read the book yet. If that's the case, you know, that could have a backlash. That could have a backlash because if people are like, if you show up to the pizzeria and like your friend, like, yeah, come over to my kid's birthday party. We having a birthday party, and it's gonna be at Roof Chris, the steakhouse. You get to the steakhouse and they got hot dogs. What? I'm not what? What we doing? Come on, yo. What you want? Sauerkraut? You want chili dogs? You want the big boy chili dog? Like, no, I want a steak. That's why. Roof Chris. I can't, Capital Grill. I came for the steak. I ain't coming no hot dogs. Mystery meat ass hot dog. What are you, crazy? So you got to be careful from that respect. Brittany, she said something else. Let me see. Oh, wow. What did she say? Brittany works for she works in the literary field. So she has some information. Has some insider information. Said it's good overall, but if you're expecting a full-blown dissection of everything that went on and everything we saw in the show, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be. I thought that's what was going to happen. That's kind of what I was suspecting. That's what I was expecting. The last 50 pages, I was low-key kind of irritated because there's so much she didn't address. Wow. Oh, so she started talking about stuff like open the door and then land a plane on it. Is that what it is? And I think that's worse. That's worse. Like, because I'm not a fan of like innuendos. If you're going to accuse somebody of something, come out and say that they did this thing. Don't like imply that they did it. Come out and accuse them so that they have a chance or opportunity to defend themselves. Unless, of course, there's some extenuating circumstance which prevents you from doing it. But other than that, like, come out and just, especially if you're coming out advertising this is going to be a book that's going to blow everything open, and you buy it expecting to get some information, is like, whoa, this is a game changer, and it's the same old, because we've gotten the same thing. How many times has Mary come out and be like, I can still hear her say that, oh yes, I'm not holding back my side, my truth will be I will be heard. Like, Mary hasn't said anything the whole time. Like, what are you talking about? Your truth gonna be heard? You haven't told any truths. Like, you have like one story. Like, that was like story for story that she matched with Christine. When Christine came out and talked about how Mary got her ring melted down after Cody met Robin, Mary got all pissy about that Christine told that story because it wasn't her story to tell, and she blabbed about that story. But then the next time that she came out and said anything about Cody, it was that story about how he told her he was going to ignore her when she got to Las Vegas. He moved to Las Vegas and told her basically, I'm going to ignore the hell out you. I'm going to abuse you. I'm going to mentally abuse you for the next 15 years. Like, wow, what happened with that? I don't answer questions about Cody. People come up to me all the time and ask questions about Cody. I'm like, I don't want to talk about that. Okay, so why are you talking about it? Like, what are we doing? That's kind of where I'm at. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong for that. So I'm gonna say this. For the next few phone calls, they come from one of our more enthusiastic subscribers. So I'm gonna play the messages because they took time to leave the messages. So I'm gonna play the messages. If you are offended by language, I'm going to bid you adieu, and I understand this these next few phone calls got some language in it. Interesting points, very interesting points, but it's got some language. It's a little peppered. It's peppered, okay? It's peppered. So I'm warning you now. So if you got kids in the room, I'm giving you an opportunity. Put some headphones on or whatever. Catch you on a rewatch or whatever the case may be. I just want to let folks know before you get bombarded. All right. So first of 4, we have Daisy Reyes. Daisy, come on down.
Yo, James, what's up? I just watched the motherfucking trailer. Yo, that shit had me fucked up. Yo, and Christine had me fucked up. Yo, and I've had smoke that I need to address with some other people on the show. So she has gotten some cover from me. But don't think that I haven't noticed how you've been using your new man to get fucking Cody jealous, Christine. Yo, like, stop fucking comparing him and stop crying about what the fuck you didn't have with him when you got a man that's ready to give it to you all. And you're gonna put him in an uncomfortable ass position to be with your fucking narcissist ex-man. Yo, and you know Cody's the type of dude to plant seeds to break up the relationship. He already fucking did it when he said that David was out here getting fucking all aroused over Robin when they met at fucking McKelty's fucking party.
All right, that's the first one. Let's address it. Let's address it. The whole girl coming hot. You gotta love Daisy. She coming hot. Love it. Christine. And yes, Daisy got some smoke for Christine. But I'm gonna tell you what. Like I said, I got a couple messages from Daisy that I'm gonna play. She got smoke for everybody. So please, if you're a Christine fan, don't sit there and be mad like, oh, she coming after Christine. No, she got smoke for everybody. So everybody getting it. She is equal opportunity ass whipper. So first things first, what she's saying about, like, I agree with the thing. Like, you got to be careful about giving people too much insight and information into your business. Like you putting David in a situation where he's going to be in a room with Cody. Cody's going to shit talk you. And Cody's one of them guys, he's not going to blatantly come up to David and say, Christine ain't shit because she left me and the family. And she's a terrible person because of this. That's not what she's going to do. That's not what she's going to do. What he's going to do. Cody's going to do the very subtle way of trying to tell David that Christine isn't enough. And then that puts, and part of, like, this is where I was with, like, the two of them going out, hanging out, and why I would be very hesitant, if not flat out reject the possibility of me going out with somebody, especially if that person was abusive to somebody I cared about. Because at the end of the day, I would be very sensitive to anything that they said. Let me say that one more time. I would be very sensitive to anything that person said or that person relayed. So if they were talking about a person that I cared about in a disparaging way, and like I've said this before, especially if they were abusive to them or nasty to them, or they had them questioning their own, like, self-esteem, they damaged them in some kind of way, I'm already looking for a reason to get at you. And then me going out with you, hanging out with you, and giving you the opportunity to say something wild to me is just going to give me permission to do the thing that I wanted to do anyway. So in order to prevent that, using the old bean counter, you say, you know what? I'm not going to put myself in that situation, because the only thing that's going to happen is I'm going to go out with this joker. He going to say some shit, and I'm going to catch a case messing around with him. And I know better. So I'm not going to go out with him. I know, because dudes like Cody, it's one of them things where they get you out there and they think, because they say it with a freaking smile on their face, they smile and they grin when they say it, or they phrase it as a joke, that you're not supposed to get mad. And if you do get mad, then you're the immature one. There's something wrong with you. Why are you being so sensitive? I was just joking. I said all women. But no, when you say all women, I know you're talking about my woman. You're not talking about all women. You're talking about the one I'm with. You talking about the one I claim, right? And women experience the same thing. You out with your girlfriends, all men ain't blah, 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 blah. And you know full well that she talking about what you told her 2 weeks ago. All they want to do is sit and watch the game, and you sit up at, I told you 2 weeks ago that I'm having a problem because all he want to do is sit and watch the game, and I'm in there trying to do some work, or I'm talking about going to see my mom or something like that. He just wants to sit there and watch the game, and you know, one game right after another. Seem like all we do is watch games. You watching football, baseball, basketball, NASCAR, golf, you know, curling. Like he just watching sports to be watching sports. You know, watching the X Games, like. So you can tell the difference. There is a difference. And you have people who will throw, like I said, throw stones and hide their hands. They'll put you in a situation where they say some wild stuff, get you acting up, get you acting wild, being offended because this is somebody you care about and you're sensitive to it. They say some wild stuff like, whoa, 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 they're just words. What are you mad for? Why are you trying to act like you all huffing and puffing? What's that about? You know, you act like you can't control yourself. Like, no. Don't put yourself in that situation. So, you know, but yeah, you gotta be careful. And I do think that there is a point where Christine, like, because even my wife said it, like Christine was doing some stuff, when, especially that first time when Cody met David, and she's over there leaning her head on his chest and kissing him, and you know, honey bunning him, bunnying his ass to death because she was, you know, she was trying to make Cody jealous. You know, she was trying to stick it to Cody a little bit. This is what it is. I get it. I'm not really offended one way or another. but yeah, it is what it is. But you got to be careful about that. Like, because I understand that you're trying to show Cody that you can get past him and live without him. But at the end of the day, you don't want to make it a situation where you're it feels like that's the only reason you're dating me. The only reason you're with me is because you're trying to get back at somebody. Like I'm nobody's get back. I'm not the fallback and I'm not the get back. I'm not the backup plan. I'm the plan. You know what I mean? This is stuff I used to tell my kids, my daughter especially, like, don't ever be a man's backup plan. You either the plan or no plan at all. But don't ever be the backup plan. Like if things don't work out with this person, then he'll try to hook you up. No. Bump that. You know what I mean? That's for the birds. But let's go to the second message, Daisy.
Another thing, James, I can tell the motherfucking Cody and Robin is finna use this motherfucking season to rebrand. We don't want a motherfucking rebrand. Yo, I don't believe him when he's all, I'm sorry that I didn't tell you that I didn't love you. La 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 la. Nah, keep that same motherfucking energy you had when you said that shit. Cause I personally think he fucking meant it. Real talk. We all know he's the type of bitch to live off of fucking women.
I don't disagree with the premise. Spicy. Daisy spicy. It's coming with the fire jack. But I mean, she's right. Like at the end of the day, everybody's questioning like this whole apology tour. Like nobody thinks this is sincere, right? And it's a money grab. Like he's not doing it for as from the position of being a parent. He's doing it from the position of trying to get paid. He's not doing it from the position of trying to find his family. He's trying to secure his funds. Like, you understand what I mean? Like, there's a difference between why he's apologizing. And like I said before, I can see a scenario where he comes in the same way he said that in order for Gabe and Garrison to come back to the holidays and us to be able to spend the holidays together, they have to come back and apologize to me. And then he, you know, at the coaxing and push from Robin, he said, okay, no, they don't have to apologize. They just have to call me and we have to talk. What are you going to talk about? You're going to talk about them apologizing to you and apologizing to Robin. That's what you're going to talk about. It's not going to be a meeting of the minds. It's just you just found a different way to try to get the same point and the same push. So him saying that, you know, I've said from the beginning, I'm going to keep it all the way a stack. I've said from the beginning, I don't think that he ever loved those other three women. Sorry. Just because he's with them and he pushed kids in them and they struggled together. Sometimes you in the struggle because you in the struggle. Like this is the person that you were forced to be in this struggle with, but that's not necessarily the person that you, if given a chance and an actual choice, that you would choose to spend your time with, that you would choose to struggle with. This is the person you're compelled to struggle with because you put yourself in a situation where you're now struggling with them. You married them, you push kids up in them. Everybody expects you in the church to stay married. Everybody expects you to take care of your kids. Everybody expects you to do everything you can to provide for your family. So that's what you have to do. The second he had an opportunity to be able to make a choice as to what it is he actually wants to do, he chose to leave his family. He chose to pursue a monogamous relationship with Robin. He chose to focus on Robin because that's the woman that he chose and is choosing to be with. There's a fundamental difference. You understand what I mean? And like I said before, if we're going to take the position, like many of us have, and many of us have talked about on this platform as well as others, that Cody is in fact a narcissist. There's not a narcissist alive that's in love with somebody the way we understand love. And so when it comes down to it, to a narcissist and a narcissist mind, to my understanding, it's more about usury. If they can use you, if they can implement something about you and something about you is valuable to them, then they have no problem with keeping you around and pursuing you and chasing you and doing all these things to try to make you theirs and keep you in their lives. You'll be in that ideal stage because you're pumping them up. You're doing something for them. You're making them feel special. You're making me feel like number one. Yeah, you here, we together. But the second you become problematic, the second you start asking questions, especially uncomfortable ones, and the second you make them feel like they are less than how they see themselves as the hero. And if they can't be the hero, they make themselves the victim. And they make themselves the victim by making you the villain. So the second they can no longer be the hero, you have to assume the position of being the villain. And there you go. Then they discard your ass. Like eventually you get discarded. And even part of that discard, it's not about them getting rid of you because they don't want you around and doing you the service. Like even Mary, she kind of touched on it when she said, he should have told me, which he has told you as far as I can see. He said, like, he might not have told you directly. Maybe Mary could make that argument. But anytime a man get on TV and he say to the world, I don't want her ass, and I wish she would go find somebody else, then he told you. Okay, he might not have told you directly. Maybe he didn't man up and tell you directly, but he put it in a place where you could definitely hear him. This is the equivalent of him walking into the next room. He knows you in a house, and you in the kitchen. He walk into the hallway, the foyer, and he started talking shit about you. He's telling you, he's talking to you. He might not be in the room with you, but he talking to you. So, I mean, but even when that happens, he still wants you to look for him and consider him and be part of him and not look for anybody else and try to be with anybody else because he doesn't see himself as being replaceable. He sees you as being replaceable. He can replace you with Robin. He can replace you with these new girls who's contacting him in the email. He can replace you with anybody else in the world, but he's irreplaceable. And if what I'm saying is true and we're holding that he's a narcissist, then we can't make the argument that 15, 20, 30 years ago, he was head over the heels and loved and committed to these three women. And then somehow Robin came along, hit him with the Thundercat and made him a narcissist. That's not how it works. It's not a venereal disease, So just saying, like, shot of penicillin is not going to cure narcissism. But we got two more from Daisy Raz. Here we go. Number.
Okay, and then finally, like, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, Janelle, she really looked like he was reaching her with all that fake bullshit that he always does. Yo, if they really think that they're gonna be friends with him and get back into some sort of fold with him, I won't be watching anymore. They clearly fucking played us, yo, for a bag, yo. Because it's just like ridiculous.
I had my mic on. Yeah. If they, because the only way it will work out if they got back together, it would not. It could be just because of the financial end of it, but at the end of the day, for me, it would just be bad TV. Because this is the equivalent of, for me, it would be the equivalent of, it's already been exposed that you guys were being mistreated. Now, we've suspected that this is the case. But then in recent seasons, it was confirmed that this was the case, that you guys were being mistreated. Now, if if I knew that you were being mistreated, I wouldn't support the show and advertise the show and talk about the show if I knew that you were being mistreated, because I'm not putting money in Cody's pocket. But at the end of the day, now that it's been confirmed and you guys have gotten out and you guys are doing well, and I kind of like to see you twist the knife a little bit in them. I watch the show and I talk about the show. But if you go back, it's too much. Like, it will be too much. And it might not even be a thing that you're being dishonest. Janelle's necessarily being dishonest about her feelings towards Cody. And that's why she's taking him back. Because there's a lot of situations where you have victims of mistreatment who will go back into those relationships. Like, you can't get them out. You know, like there's two instances for first responders, police. There's two instances that are the most dangerous for police. First is a traffic stop, because you're coming in contact with a person. You don't know what they're thinking about. You don't know what just happened, where they're coming from, or where they're going. Like, you know, as far as you know, they might have just left the house, you know, knocked off their whole damn family, and they driving down to go get the people at work too, or vice versa. They knocked off everybody at their job, and the call just didn't go out yet, right? And they on their way home to go take care, like clean the house out, right? And you pull them over because they, you know, they tail light is out of some dumb stuff, and you just want to give them a warning. Hey, you got to get your tail light changed. And this dude going bonkers, right? It's a dangerous situation because, again, you don't know who's in the car, what they have. The second most dangerous situation for a police officer to be in on a more consistent basis is domestic cases, like domestic calls. Like, when they get a call for domestics, those are extremely dangerous because, again, you don't know who you're coming across. You don't know what's going on in the house. But even if you're familiar with these people, you come in and you could, you know, the dude would have, you know, he tuned her ass up like an old Chevy, you know, he toned up, you know, she'd have puffed out, bleeding, bruised, battered, everything. You go to him to put his ass in handcuffs so you could throw this monster, this damn animal, into a cage, right where it belongs. Like, put you in there with some people who hit your ass back. You know what I mean? We're gonna put you in there with some people who can meet your energy, sucker. Right? And as soon as you go to put your hands on them to cuff them up, she'll come across the room, jump on your back, or stab you. You understand what I mean? Like, this is one of the concerns, like with some of the officers when they show up to domestic cases. Because like it'll turn to us against them with the couple who is just fighting in the house like cats and dogs. It's very dangerous. So you do have, it's not uncommon that you have victims who will side with the person who has been mistreating them during that time. So, but I don't necessarily want to see it. You know, especially if I can't talk to her, there's nothing I can do about it. I just don't, like, she, you know, I don't know. She's not my friend. Like, I can't help her. There's nothing I can do except for sit there and watch it. Like, and I don't know if I want to sit, I don't know if I could stomach watching it. So there's that. I mean, it's the happiest I've ever been. Yeah, it's always happy in the beginning. When you get back into a situation where you're being mistreated, it's a cycle. Like, you start out, they're mistreating you, or they're treating you good. This is how they get you. The ideal situation, they treat you good. Then it gets a little tense. Then the arguments start happening. You know, little discord. Then the explosion. Then after the explosion, you have the reconciliation, the apologies. I'm sorry, I never did it. I'll never do it again. I feel so bad. Life has changed. I wish I could take it all back. Blah blah blah. And then the repair, the making up. And then you right back to the whole thing again. Everything is cool, perfect for a little bit. And then next thing you know, tense, problem, explosion, reconciliation, makeup, cool again. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily want to sign up for that. I'm kind of with Daisy on that point. Let's get the last one from Daisy.
Yo, I said the last one was my last one, but this one's really my last one because punk ass Robin want to sit up there like she's some fucking head honcho, like she's some fucking boss bitch. I'm not gonna let this go until we get exactly. Like, firstly, ho, all the fuck you know how to do is run up a motherfucking tab. Ain't nobody trusting you with no fucking transaction. She really thinks the audience is fucking stupid.
She said, all she know how to do is run up a tab. You know what? I We're gonna be talking about that on Sunday more heavily, more detailed. Um, but yeah. I mean, it's a little rough that Robin came out and she's basically saying, "Look, I'm running this. This is how we're gonna do it." And all of a sudden, you pull it like you the kingpin, like you running shit, you making decisions, and even Cody deferring to her. He and the weirdest part of that, and again, I'll get more into it on Sunday, but the weirdest part of that, if you really think about it, Cody, by saying that this is Robin, and I'm acting a certain way because of Robin's good influence. I'm doing the things that Robin's asking me to do. So essentially, anything that's happened thus far is Robin's fault. That's the beautiful thing with you saying that I'm listening to Robin. On Cody saying I'm listening to Robin. I listen to Robin. So if my family blows up, that's Robin's fault. If things didn't work out, that's Robin's fault. If they felt like they were being cheated, neglected, mistreated, whatever the case may be, that's Robin's fault because I was following her advice. That's why he's always kind of held her out that, oh, Robin knows what she's doing. Robin speaks Cody. Robin is the translator. Robin knows what she's talking about. It's Robin's fault. you know. But like no lies detected. And like I said, like I see that like some people might have take exception to maybe the delivery method that Daisy has. I like spirited conversation. I've been known to use some language. But I don't know how true this is, but I was always kind of brought up with the impression that, people who use language, colorful language, do so because they don't have time to play around with the truth. Like they're usually very honest, very blunt people. That's the way Daisy feels about it. And she's being honest about how she feels about it. And I don't have an issue with that. Because that, like what she's saying, like it all makes sense. It all jives. And in fact, if I haven't said it, I've definitely felt it and thought it. Like I can't support if they try to do the whole, we're going to get the family back together, we're going to do the band back together. I'm not doing reconciliations. Like I didn't watch this family break up so that we can watch them all come back together. I'm not watching them come together like butt cheeks. Like I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because it's some things, sometimes when people do things, it's not about holding grudges. It's not about you continually being mad. It's about you not being able to deal with each other. You got kids, you're going to have to deal with each other. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit up here and forgive you just to forgive you and forget how you did me and forget the disrespect that you've given to me and how you thought about me, whether you reconsidered it and changed your mind or not. The fact that you were able to put that shit in your brain and it leaves your brain and pass through your teeth and out your mouth tells me everything I need to know about you. This is that bridge too far for me. This would be the what I've referred to in my own personal relationship. This is the nuclear option of your relationship. If you push these buttons, there's a certain button that you can push, like because everybody knows how to push buttons with the people that they deal with and the people that they associate with, your friends, family, parents, whoever. Parents would also fall into family, but whoever you're dealing with, if they're close to you, you know what makes them upset. You know what they're sensitive about. You know what they get emotional about. And if you say there's certain things that you could say to them that would be unforgivable. Now, it's not the same for everybody, but if you say a certain thing, like, you tell certain jokes to a friend of yours who maybe suffered some kind of trauma, that you knowingly know, like that they suffered this trauma, but you choose to joke about that anyway, they see that as a sign of disrespect and they don't mess with you no more. Right? This isn't something that, oh, I had no idea that you went through this, or there's no way I could have known. You knew that I went through this. You knew that this was an issue for me. And yet and still, you went and did it anyway. That's the nuclear option. Because in my view, there's certain things that like people who I deal with, if they say those things to me, then what you're telling me is that you've already considered the fact that I'm not going to be around anymore and you're okay with it. That's why you felt like you could say it. And some of the stuff that Cody was saying, that's the that's the stuff that, like, you can't take that back. You can't. That's not I slipped. I said it. I misspoke. Like, that's not a misspoke. You're sorry you said it. You're not sorry because you meant it. I'm sorry I meant that. I'm sorry I understood things that way, but I don't anymore. That's how you felt. And even if you take the position that, I said those things because I wanted to hurt you, the fact that you chose to hurt me that way tells me all I need to know about you. And that's where I'm at. So I'm right there. I'm right there. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy Ferran in the house. OG, triple OG. All right. Let's do some likes. How many likes? You're like, I don't like this. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. But let me just check one thing before we get too far afield. Betty Aldridge. All right, 6117, $2 super chat. I wonder how much David is making. Yeah, right. See, here's the thing. I wonder if David's getting paid at all. Because on these reality shows, the only people who tend to get paid are cast members. Everybody else is doing it for fun. Like, Jen might not be getting a check. You just showing up because you're on the show. Like, you're doing it for the love of the game. You showed up for the love of the game. Now, hopefully David negotiated himself because he is Christine's husband. And he, he's like, I'm technically kind of part of the cast. But the kids weren't getting paid. So, I don't know. I mean, it's bad business. If he's not making any money, he might want to consider just pulling the show. Because again, I just do this as a warning. If you're new to your relationship, or you're in a relationship, one of the worst prescriptions you could have for the survival of your relationship is doing a reality show. If you don't really care about being with that person or whether it works out or not, then do the reality show. But if this is somebody you really care about, don't do this reality show, because they kind of like what happened. Like, I watched a 30-second clip. I saw David out there driving around with Cody on a fun day, and then I see the two of them hugging each other. I see David different now, and there's a strong possibility, depending on how that episode go, I might talk shit about David. Like, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, nobody's untouchable. Everybody can get talked about. Everybody can get observed and have an opinion formed on them. Like, there's no safe spaces up on this Joan. So, and like, if you have a new relationship, too much criticism, too much observation on your relationship can ruin your relationship. So, something that might happen and you guys get past it and maybe even forget about it. You do it on a reality show. You not only you talking about it for the reality show, you got to watch during the time when it happens. Then you have to relive it. There's a possibility, like I said, you guys personally went through this thing. Then the reality show or the production company finds out about it. Then they want to shoot it, so you got to relive it again. Then when it airs, you got to relive it again, and then on all the reruns and the tell-alls and the look-backs and everything else, you got to relive it again. And if it's bad enough or it's a strong enough situation, you might have to hear about it for years to come. And that's going to take a toll on your relationship. So if David, if your ass ain't getting paid to be on that show, and you guys are set as far as your money is concerned, you might want to think about pulling out of this show, out of show business. That's my two, though. But thank you so much, Betty. Let me give you a little something. All right. We have Jody Pierce, Scala, $4.99 super chat. If they don't follow church anymore, it's not spiritual. Right. 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 Well, I mean, it kind of reminds me more or less of those like the backsliders, Cape Christians, you know, when they show up to Christmas, Advent, uh what is it? I forget P. Pentecostal? No. Basically, I forget what P is, but Easter is E. So they just show up on the big holidays. Like you show up on Ash Wednesday. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You show up to show your face where you can have a receipt of going to church and how sanctified you are, but you don't really preach it. And then the only time you really talk about religion is when you like in a discussion and you want to use it as a lever or anchor to somebody to disprove them or get them to do something. That's the only time you really talk about religion. So I think they're kind of more or less in that boat because they're not affiliated with the church. So if he wants to take on another wife and get married using a ceremony, either he's going to have to get back into the church, get good standing with the church, in which case he's going to have to give up some money because part of that commitment to the church, quiet as it's kept, I suspect, and I can contact Mel and Corey and ask them more specifically, Melanie and Corey from Gnosis Cell 444. But it's my understanding, as with most churches, they have a contribution requirement. So you have to give so much money in order to be a member of that church in good standing. Like they expect you to tithe, right? So how many years have they gone without tithing? Like Cody gonna have to write a nice little check. Like he got back tithes to pay. Might have to bring in some tax returns in order for them to figure out exactly how much he owes, right? So, I mean, it's not that, but then at the same time, if he's the kind of guy to go to his daughter's baptism and he's not even a member of the church and he feel like he feel comfortable enough to get up there and start whispering prayers and stuff, he might feel like he's his own bishop and he's going to basically start his own faith. And under his own faith, he'll go out and say the words to himself and, you know, profess to be part of that spiritual marriage because he's pushing it. Not necessarily as a vessel of that that institution of the AUB. So, I mean, good luck with that, Chief. Doesn't sound like a good plan to me, but taking on 4 wives doesn't sound like a good plan either. You did that, so who knows? Jody Periscala said, "Dollar there, super chat. Did I hear Cody's dad was abusive? Yes." That's the allegation. That I don't have independent knowledge of it. I can't verify it, but from reports from his nephew, I believe, Ben the Fisher King, as well as several other outlets and YouTube channels, have all made the assertion that Cody's father was a little rough, physical. He was physical when he was younger. So, I mean, that also might be part of the reason why Cody is the way he is. And as long as he's doing better than I guess his dad was doing, he feels justified in what he did. But it's kind of a relative, you know what I mean? Like I might be a shit dad compared to most normal people, but in respect of Cody may look at it like in respect of how my dad treated me and what he did to me, especially with all the brothers and sisters and stuff I had. You know, I spend way more time with my kids than my dad with me. So therefore, I'm a good dad. Like that might be the calculus that he's using when he talks about what a good parent he is and how involved he was. But thank you so much. That's a good question. Give you a little something. And we have Brittany, not Brittany, member for 5 months. All right, Brittany. I also find it interesting that HBO took seasons 2 to 4 off randomly, right when sister, right when Special Forces is coming out and Christine's book drops. Yeah, tinfoil hat moment. Yeah. I think you might still be able to get seasons 2 and 4 on Discovery. Let me just check that real quick. Now I'm kind of curious, and I'm sure there are other people who are, inquiring minds want to know. Let me see, season 2. You can still get season 2 on Discovery and season 4 on Discovery. Yeah, but that's interesting. HBO took it down, huh? Because they don't want to play no more. It was like, not on my watch, Coaches. Not today, son. All right. Hello, love, Daisy. I'm new here, but yes, go off, Daisy. That is the energy Cody and Robin need. Yeah, yeah. Taking no shorts. Who on TLC is Mormon? Well, they've had a few Mormon families. Like they had Cody, they had well, not Mormon, they had a few people from the AUB. It was Cody, it was Brady from My Five Wives. They had a few people from, we've seen actually on Sister Wives. There's a guy who's Aspen's husband's brother that was on Seeking Sister Wives. So we've had people, and then we've had Mormon people. We've had like the Come On Sister Wives. We've had the friends come on, like Cody's old friends who used to hang out with. Then when he broke away from it, he crying the blues. Said James in production trying to push issues. Tell you. It's not me. I'm merely just observing. Daisy should host the next Tell Nothings. I'll watch it. I don't think Cody would sit through it though. Like, because as soon as Daisy came in, I don't think any of them would sit through it. Because Daisy ain't really playing no favorites. Like, she's not. There's no safe haven. Like, it's not like, oh, okay, OG3, you guys are good to go. Cody and Robin, I'm gonna let y'all have it. She on them too. She on their necks too. So it is what it is. I mean, it'll be interesting to watch because I think everybody, in fairness, and this is just my opinion, I think everybody should be pushed. Everybody should be asked questions. And like the time of reality shows being able to pass off like softball interviews or softball tell-alls, I think that time has to come to a close because especially the weird part is you have so much time that you push these heavy duty, salacious scenes and situations on us, but then you get to the tell-all and all of a sudden everybody's playing patty cakes. You know what I mean? 90 Day Fiance, you have a woman who's literally, I watched Jasmine attack several people. A woman named Kim, who was dating a guy named Usman, attacked him at least twice. You had Angela Deem, who was married to a guy named Michael from Nigeria. She attacked him multiple times, tore up property of his, destroyed property, attacked him physically, tried to assault him financially. Like it's crazy abusive on those shows. But then they get to the tell-all, nobody has nothing to say. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. But Brittany, not Brittany, $9.99 super cheat. Also, I wonder how difficult they're going to make it to watch the show in general this season. My provider dropped TLC last year, so I was scrambling when it aired. Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that I don't like too. Thank you for the super chat, Brittany. But like that's one of the things that I don't like too, is that there was a time. I'm about to sound like an old man, pardon me. There was a time back when I was young, when Discovery would add a TLC Sister Wives. Like when Sister Wives came out, if it came out on Sunday, you could watch Sister Wives at like 9 o'clock in the morning, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And it was just out. You could watch it at your leisure. Now with this whole like, oh, we're only going to put it on some of the channels and some of the providers when it first airs, and then you won't be able to watch it on like Discovery or HBO. I think those are the two big ones until the next day, which will require you to have like either you have a subscription to HBO or Discovery, or you have to do what I did, which is go out and get a subscription for like I don't even have look, guys. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe my wife probably gonna flip the hell out. James, you're giving up too much information. You talk too damn much. I don't even have TV in my house. Like I didn't get TV until last season. Like of Sister Wives. Like I don't have TV. Like I have like streaming networks because I got rid of my TV a while ago. Like cable, I cut the cable a while ago. Just because. I mean, it was like I got 400 channels and nothing. I could get like streaming service. I have like I don't know how many streaming services, some of which I pay for, some I don't, which is way cheaper than what they were trying to do to me for cable. And at least I'll watch most of the stuff that's on those shows. Still a whole bunch of content I wouldn't watch and haven't watched and don't watch and don't plan on watching. But at least I'm not paying $400 to not watch some shit. Like, it's just crazy to me, like how they doing it. Like, especially I'm also from that generation. Oh God, Gen X, baby. I remember a generation where we used to have free TV. Hey, you go to the store, you buy a TV, you bring it home, you plug it in, you can watch TV. Now you got to have cable, you got to contact the cable provider, or you got to have like a hookup where you could put the TV through the internet, or a Roku device, or a Fire Stick or something. Like so you always got to have like an extra to watch TV, and then not only do you have to have the streaming, the box that allows you to stream a thing, but you got to pay for the streaming services. So the whole time you're paying to watch TV, So it's just, again, this is one of the things that I think TLC is doing that's actually going to lead to the destruction of their platform, their shows, because you take your popular shows. A lot of your shows aren't even really popular, but the popular shows you try to make them hard, if not impossible, for people to watch. So you have people who have been watching it, which makes the show popular and profitable. And then the people who watch the show and make it profitable, you cut them off. Make it make sense. I mean, yeah, you might make some money in the short term. Maybe you get an increase because you have subscriptions and stuff that people are paying for, so you can get a bump or demand a bump from whatever provider is allowing people to watch the show. But in the long term, as soon as the show starts tanking or tapering off, people are going to start pulling them subscriptions. Once those subscriptions start getting pulled, they're going to cancel your show. Your show is going to get canceled. But hey, what do I know? I'm not one of the big wigs down at TLC. I'm just a regular guy using regular sense. Yeah, but yeah, HBO Max, I had that too. That's a good platform. Yeah, I'm with you, Tracy. I think I did mine a little earlier in 214, but yeah, I haven't had cable in shit. I don't think my son. I don't think he even remembers us having cable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. Yeah, it is what it is. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to let you guys, we're going to stop it there. Now, make sure you come back on Sunday because we are going to get into the nitty of the damn gritty. We're going to get in the nitty of the gritty. This Sunday, 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. We're going to pop that off. Then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do a live for my members tomorrow. I think I said last week I'll do it at noon, but we're going to do it tomorrow at noon. So the members can call in. We can have an open discussion and talk about where we're going to go as far as Sunday. Maybe you guys can give me some ideas or some insight on some stuff. Usually I'll open up the members channel so people can call in, and I'll run a panel if enough people want to call in. So you can talk to each other. It'll be fun. All right. But should be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Before we go, I want to make sure I give a huge shout out to all the folks who called in and left messages. Now, keep in mind, if you want to leave a message too, you can just hit up that thing down below, speakpipe.com/my take on reality, and you can leave a 90-second message, minute and a half. Leave as many as you want. But and then we'll play it, we'll talk about it, discuss the ideas. If you just want to call and leave a message, you don't necessarily want me to play it, but you're okay with me posing it as a question. I've done that before where people have called in. They didn't want to have their name or their message played. They just say, this is what I want to talk about, or this is my question. I ask the question and we talk about it and address it. It's not that big a deal. But it's just a way for, I see it as a way for you guys to be able to participate in the show if you don't want to call in, because not everybody feels comfortable calling in or whatever the case may be. And maybe you want to do a little more than just the chat. If you just want to do the chat, that's cool too. If you just want to alert, that's fine also. But if you want to come in, either way, make sure you hit the like button. But if you want to call in and leave a message, and you can, the great thing about like SpeakPipe, you can leave a message. If you don't like the way you sound or what you said, or you don't like the organization of it, you can go back, erase it, and take it as many times you want to leave the message that you want. All right. So I'll leave it there. But yeah, I want to give a huge shout out to Brittany, not Brittany, Anonymous from Germany. Then, of course, Megatron, give her a huge shout out, breaking all her ankles, every ankle she got. And of course, we got to thank Daisy Reyes for bringing the spice. Daisy brought the fire, taking those shorts. Make sure you take care of yourself. And like I always said, make sure you take care of the people who take care of you. Give those people that special attention, because a lot of times those folks go ignored. Before we get too far out of pocket, I want to make sure I thank everybody who gave me a super chat tonight. I appreciate you. Let me recognize you guys as well. Brittany, not Brittany. Jody Paris Scala. Thank you. As well as Betty Aldridge up in the house. Thank you guys so much. I want to thank the mega mods, Brittany, not Brittany, Brittany, not Brittany, Lizzie B, and Carmel Cuties. Thank you guys so much, as well as everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being so cool. I'm James. This is my take on reality. But before I go, let me give you guys one good thing. This is for everybody, especially my mega mods and the folks who dropped the super chats, as well as the callers, because without you guys, it wouldn't be much of a show. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out.